I think that one, they could, and two, I don't think they care.
They probably don't.
They don't care.
Hey, welcome to... Hey, we're here. We're doing things a little different here. I know this is like... It doesn't look any different. Oh, well, yeah, we have that change, right? And we're sitting a little lower. But no, there's more. So, are you ready to see what we got going on now?
I'm excited to see what's happening right now.
All right, so first of all, got a nice little screen here. They're going to hear us when we're talking here.
Oh, okay. I was like, what's happening now? This is all new. Yeah, I see the thing popping up. That's cool.
As always, there may be some possibility of some language.
Yeah, it happens.
It does happen. It does. We're doing this. We're not trying to make $100. We would like to make a couple, but
we've made zero to date. We're probably in the negative at this point because we bought some equipment and some other things. We bought some microphones.
We're not trying to infringe upon anyone.
No, we're not trying to make money by taking from Vince's intellectual property or Tony's because he's angry at the bots.
Right. But before we start, we would definitely want to say thank you to Outlaw Radio Network for hosting us for 2 weeks. I had a lot of fun in the studio.
I did too. I mean, I kind of feel like we're back to slumming it, even with all this technology that I now have in front of me that's going on.
Oh, but no, we won't. Yeah, it won't feel that way. It won't feel that way.
Yeah, no, back to the basement.
So, we're getting ready to. So we're gonna do our intro now.
Okay.
So we'll do our intro.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's edition of Powerbomb Weekly. It's the intro to Season 5, and while everything might look a little different, the analysis and same great talent from Michael Burdett is the same. Woo! This week, the guys break into the changes that have occurred in the WWE with wrestlers' names, plus the absolute chaos that is NXT, what's going on in AEW now that Wrestlemania season is over, and as always, the guys will break down the good and the bad on all your favorite major wrestling TV shows. We'll look at the ratings and so much more. But first, let me introduce to you your hosts and a special Easter introduction. This man is like the 1-pound chocolate bunny that everyone loves to see on Easter morning. He is the great Michael Burdett. And this guy is like those little marshmallow peeps. Most people don't like them. They're kind of gross and kind of annoying. It's Joey Marcello. And now, ladies and gentlemen, happy Easter from your announcer guy. It's time for this week's Powerbomb Weekly. On with the show.
I don't know what he's talking about. Peeps are amazing.
I like Peeps, but overall, I think the traditional Peep is good because a few years ago, my wife got me like this big assortment of different kinds of Peeps because I was like, yeah, I like Peeps, right?
Right.
And I had like blue ones,
and
I love anything that's the color blue. I love for some reason. Like I love the blue drinks, the blue Kool-Aids, the blue candies. Anything that has the color blue, I enjoy. Right. Those things were fucking awful. And they were so sweet that, like, my teeth hurt for, like, a day after trying to eat them.
It's just food coloring. It's no different. There is literally no difference in the flavor.
Like, they were so... No, I promise you, these were completely different.
Now, like, this year, my wife got, like, cupcake Peeps, hot tamale Peeps, birthday cake Peeps. Peeps are Peeps.
Whatever these blue ones are, they were... bad.
You're out of your mind.
My Valentine's Day present showed up, by the way, from the wife, which was awesome. She got me... I apologize, I don't remember the company's name. This is not a plug for them. They didn't give us any money, but this thing was fucking cool. It is a heart. It is literally a white chocolate candy airbrush like style of a human heart. And my wife was like, I give you my heart. And I was like, oh, that's like super sweet. And it took them a while to make it, but it had like, you know, the aorta valves and all this stuff coming off of it. And it's it's fucking big. It's a big like a chocolate heart. It's like an actual heart. Yeah, it was. I have been snacking on that for a few days now. It was delicious. So I apologize, whoever the company or the girl who made it was. Baller job. Very cool. Again, we're coming at you guys a little bit late. I'll go ahead and tell that story while Joey's messing with some stuff over here. My son was playing with some Play-Doh, and he had his little Play-Doh knife, and he managed to slice his finger with his Play-Doh knife.
Oh, man.
And he was not happy, so we had a console moment with Caden for a little bit, so that's why I'm running a little bit behind.
That's all right. We forgive you.
Yes, yeah. And poor little guy just nicked the top of his thumb right there, and he was like all sad and stuff, and he was also like trying not to let us know that he cut himself because, you know, he likes playing with his little plastic knives and stuff, and, you know, we're always like, you know, if he goes to pick up a real knife or something at the house, which, you know, he gets confused, right, between what's his knives and what's the real knife. We're like, you can't touch the real knife, buddy. You know, so he's like all freaked out, like, oh, you know, don't take my knife away. It's like, he's like, I'm not bleeding, I swear. And I'm like, buddy, it's okay if you cut yourself. Accidents happen, you know. It's like, but that's why we don't play with the real knives. You only get to play with your knives, you know. Right. So yeah, it was super fun.
So, did you have you gotten a chance to look at what the ratings look like recently? And
I have not got a chance. You're like, fuck you and your kid. I just want to talk about wrestling.
Well, you know, we are trying to put on a show, and I mean,
I am putting on a show. I'm telling the interpersonal human element stories that make us great. You know, like. Let's be real, as our announcer guy, Kevin, pointed out, again, thank you for hosting us for the last 2 weeks, Kevin. It was awesome. I do have some pickup information for you about some questions that we talked about on your show. Hopefully I'll remember to get to them. But, I mean, I will admit this. I'm looking at this card, and I realize that I don't think I watched most of wrestling this week outside of Raw and in some AEW spots, because I'm like, I don't remember a lot of these matches. And that's because, well, we just watched all of these matches last week. And we've been talking about WrestleMania for 2 weeks straight now. So, yeah, I am going to kind of fly blind here and be like, oh, yeah, maybe I do remember that. Maybe I don't.
Usually you do, so
yes,
we'll see what happens.
Okay, anyway, ratings. Let's take a look at ratings. It is towards the end of the month.
What did the WrestleMania ratings do? What did the WrestleManias do? You know, 'cause
it's the most stupendous WrestleMania 2-night event of all time.
So, yeah. Wow.
Did I not tell you that the post one... And they did it without Stone Cold Steve Austin, which was crazy. And I think that's because people thought Steve Austin would show up.
Right. And so they got to 2 million, and that was it.
And then they went back down, yes.
Impact's taking a huge hit.
Ooh, shit.
You know, SmackDown's still doing good.
SmackDown will be SmackDown. They're going to hang out there. I'm glad that they popped up pretty high there for a minute. I mean...
I think I also
almost $2.5 million. That's pretty good.
And I think that after what happened on Dynamite this week, the good things that happened on Dynamite might push them back over to $1 million.
I am,
but
they, you know, I wonder with that, because we're going to deal with that here in a minute. We're going to talk about their shocking debut that has since come out that they fucked up. But
I have thoughts about that.
I think that's part of the show is we're going to give our thoughts.
I know, but I think I know what happened. I'm going to. Dad's got a thought.
Okay, all right. But for that, that show was fucking great
up until the end. Up until the end.
But are people is bad press, as they said, is bad news as good news to help you? You know, there is no such thing as bad press, right?
Right. Well,
is that going to make people want to tune in to see how bad that was? Because realistically, as much as wrestling fans bitch, they're not going to turn the TV off because of something like that. They're going to commit to it. They're going to double down, and we're going to want to see what happens next.
Did you watch Battle of the Belts too? Did you get a chance to see any of it?
I saw some of it.
So they tried to fix some of it.
The problem with Battle of the Belts is I just don't remember what they call shit. You know, I was like, I just saw AEW.
It was on a Saturday night. That's why.
Oh, then no, I did not see.
It was on last night. It was a special show.
What was Battle of the Belts? Do we have that?
Yeah. Well.
Okay, no, I did not see that.
Okay.
I for some reason I thought those were tied into Rampage.
No. All right, so I want to talk about this meme / bullshit comment that WWE made on Twitter. And somebody obviously it was bigger. Record-breaking WrestleMania outperformed Super Bowl. Yeah, well, it was. They added all of the stuff from 2 nights.
Yeah.
I liked the NFL didn't need celebrities running the ball in the game to gain inflated numbers.
That's not accurate, okay? And I'll tell you why with that second one, okay? There's a lot of fucking celebrities at the Super Bowl, including a historic performance by 5 of the greatest rappers to ever be in the game. So fuck that fact too, honestly.
No, but. You know what? Actually, you're right. Because I think more people watch this. I was going to say.
I did not turn the Super Bowl on until the halftime show, okay?
And the best part of. Many people thought the best part of the Super Bowl was, in fact, the halftime show.
Yes.
And many people thought the best part of WrestleMania was the celebrity matches.
Yes, the celebrity matches, okay?
So fact 2. Yeah. And the Super Bowl was, in fact, sold out. WrestleMania was. Definitely not sold out.
Which I am completely shocked by. Not that WrestleMania wasn't sold out, because realistically, it gets a little hard, nowadays. But I'm more shocked that the Super Bowl sold out, because we looked at those tickets, and whoever the fuck was paying $40,000 for seats at the Super Bowl, you need to give money to starving children in Africa. I don't like to tell people what to do with their money. I don't like to... I'm not one of those people that's just like, oh, well, because they're rich, they have to give everything back kind of deal. Not getting too political, but if you dropped $50K to sit in a football stadium and watch a game just because it's the Super Bowl, you can give money to dying children in Africa, okay?
And Super Bowl tickets were as cheap as $30.
Yeah. And
I mean, WrestleMania tickets.
WrestleMania tickets were, yes, but realistically, I mean... I've been in AT&T Stadium, okay? I've been in some of the bigger area stadiums that they have in Texas. And watching a wrestling show is different than a football show, okay? Watching a wrestling show in a big state, I don't want to pay, even if it's $30, okay?
To watch TV.
I don't want to pay $30 to watch Jumbo Tron, okay? Scrawn, yes. It's not terrible at a wrestling event to be at a balcony level because you do get to look down into the ring.
Right.
And honestly, for me, I think it sucks if you're not a ringside seat, but you're on the outside floor seat, kind of like in the announce area, because a lot of those times they're just folding chairs like we're sitting in right now, and they're not tiered. They're flat. So if you're not front row, second row, you're looking through somebody like at a movie theater, essentially. And also, you're watching a ring. So... to give some people who haven't been to a show the idea, you're sitting here, right? You have a barricade here, and then you have the top of the ring here. You see where my eye line's at? And then you have the bottom rope about right here.
Oh, no, absolutely.
So, watching a wrestling show is a little bit different. And that's why sometimes being, like, I think we found the perfect seating, which is, we're up the first level at the arena.
About halfway up.
We're about halfway up. We get to see straight into the ring. We're on camera when we said on the hard cam side, okay?
Yep.
And I think we found the perfect seating for our arena out here.
Because we don't have the money that Green Shirt Guy has that can always be... Center,
yes.
Hard camera.
I thought about it. I actually had a dream, and I was like, I just decided to say fuck it. And it's so weird because it happened like after the fact. I had this dream that I just said fuck it and went to WrestleMania, right? And I was like, I got $5,000. I'll just go watch WrestleMania and fly down there or something. I think, if they come back, like we talked about SmackDown, I think if they come back, I might have to bite the bullet and just buy the $500 front tickets.
Well, our SmackDown that was supposed to happen in February got moved to September.
Yes. So when they come back in September, if they have open seating, just so that way, if I can get on the hard cam side with the Powerbomb Weekly side, I might drop the $500 just so I can sit.
It's a goal.
Ringside at a WWE SmackDown.
Sitting front row at the Bound for Glory was amazing.
I mean, if they ever bring a pay-per-view back, because the last one they had out here was what, Fastlane in like 2011?
At the Tacoma Dome.
Yeah.
That was in 20 or 19.
No,
they did, because Key Arena was closed. They did Fastlane at the Tacoma Dome, and that was one of the least sold. This was back when it was still a SmackDown only pay-per-view.
Yeah. So that was, because I want to say, was that the one that had Cena and The Miz or something on it as the main event?
No, because I went to that one.
Okay. Yeah, that one was, because honestly, we did not realize that it was out here. For some reason, it slipped my mind that it was out here. And we looked up tickets, and tickets were still on sale like 3 hours before the event started. We were like, I think we can make it. I think we can actually make this. And then eventually we just talked ourselves out of it. Like, no, we're not going to make that.
The card was horrendous.
Yes, and that was the other thing is we looked at, we were like, well, I don't really want to pay to go to the show either. But, I mean, they did have one of the greatest WrestleManias of all time out here in Seattle.
Right.
So there is a shot that maybe we'll get a WrestleMania sometime when the Mariners win 100 games. Which will never happen again.
That won't happen.
That was for you, Kevin. That was for you. And since we're Facebook bros now, that was for you.
I think this is the tag team champs that we need.
Are we talking about this now?
No. We have a whole...
Okay.
I love that image.
We know that Joe Park is an agent in the back.
This is true.
I swear to God, Joe Park pitched this because
oh my God,
this is fucking dumb. It's so dumb. And
this isn't even the Photoshop.
Picture that WWE put up of Ezekiel proving that Elias and him were brothers because they were shown together was horrendous. You have $1 billion company, and I imagine a multi-million-dollar media division behind you, and somebody couldn't touch that picture up to make it look better. You
mean the fact that the guy, the plant behind it's bleeding through his arm?
I assume. This is my thing, though. Because, I mean, whether or not things slip past Vince or Vince does whatever, the idea is that nothing gets by Vince, right?
Yeah, okay.
I mean, that's the idea, right? Nothing gets by Vince. Vince has to approve what goes on TV, right? I think this is part of his ha-ha humor. It's gotta be. The fake bad picture has got to be part of the humor of, look at this guy.
Yep.
Terrible. Buries everything. Buries everybody involved. And is slowly... Yeah. No.
So, Mike, who wore it better?
That's a hard flex right there for both guys, honestly. I love Austin Aries. I think Austin Aries is one of the best talents that he could have easily been, in my opinion, the...
So right here,
I want to say he could have easily been, and I know I'm not talking size-wise, okay?
Right.
I'm talking somebody who is skilled, who can talk, who can be a heel prick, who also can back up what he does. He could have been like the next Triple H.
Right.
And again, I'm not apples to oranges kind of deal comparison when I say that, but I think Austin Aries, if he wasn't such a miserable, hard to deal with prick, which he himself has admitted, and has come out and said he's altered his behavior because he was such a miserable prick, that he could have easily been like a number 2 heel company guy for them for a very, very long time. And he was a huge guy on the indies and for Impact for a very long time. Matt Cardona has reinvented himself as this traveling badass champion. I mean, great for him. Again, I still make the statement though of, $50 to $50 to get bled all over with Nick Gage and you win a title and that makes you happy, as opposed to making, as Triple H said, main event guys make $250K a year. I'd take the $250K a year and not have to bleed all over the place in, a fucking gymnasium with Nick Gage, and I'd go chase the 24/7 title.
So, the first thing so you have the Impact belt So you look at what Austin Aries, he's got the Impact belt, and then he's got the Global Force belt, which is pretty much the same belt. Yeah. He's got the Defy Championship belt.
He's got the IPW belt.
Right, and this white one I think was one he got in Hawaii.
Yeah.
And then you got Mark Cardona with Kentucky Fried Chicken's belt, the McDonald's supersized belt. I got this one in Georgia. I think that's his internet belt with the bandana skull.
I think that's the internet belt, yes. I mean,
so I would
for them. I mean, but also, let's not forget, I think the best person who wore it was the Ultimo Dragon when he showed up for WCW and he had like 30 titles draped over him.
Now, do you remember why Austin Theory left WWE?
Austin Aries.
Austin Aries.
Or are we just calling him Aries now? Oh, if we're calling Austin Theory.
Do you remember why Austin Aries left WWE?
Because he was a miserable prick.
But do you remember what specifically?
Because he was a miserable prick.
Okay. Yes. Actually, no, I'm wrong. I guess I actually you're right because I was wrong because I that's why Neville left. Neville refused to drop the belt. It wasn't him that refused to drop the belt.
No, I don't think Austin cares about that. He was just, as he himself said, he was a incredibly difficult, miserable prick to work with, and everyone who's worked with him has said it.
All right.
But I love him. I fucking love this guy. I wish that he could have gone further because he was so talented.
So, let's talk about the names. I wanted to put Say My Name music-wise, but I knew it was going to get flagged, and I didn't want to have to deal with that, but, you know.
Say my name. Just me singing it is probably going to get us hit, right?
So just in 2020, these are all the name changes we've had so far.
What in the goddamn fuck is happening here?
And some of them, they're not even trying to explain.
No!
Austin Theory to Theory, that happens all the time.
Well, Matt Riddle to Riddle,
right?
Of course, yes.
The
funny thing is that the motherfucker, Matt Riddle's real name is Matt Riddle, so they just changed it to Riddle. Austin Theory's real name is not Austin Theory. What was wrong with Austin Theory?
I don't know.
Doesn't that also kill part of his thing? You know, A-Town going down?
I think so.
How can he be A-Town now if he's just Town?
I don't know. I mean, Raquel Gonzalez...
At least, though, this is the other thing, too, I want to talk about just for a second. At least they, legit just said it. Mr. McMahon and I have decided that it's just theory now.
Right, that made sense.
Which was... I'm not saying that was great, but that was just a straight-up acknowledgement of Vince changes people's names because he wants to.
Right. So you had Walter from Gunther, who he said he tried to come up with some bullshit. Then you have... so then Pete Dunne, they just said, his name is Butch now, just deal with it.
What did he do? What did Pete Dunne do? Did Pete Dunne, what did he do?
So at least with Marcel...
So Marcel is renamed
Ludwig Kaiser.
German stereotype. Sauerkraut. German sauerkraut is this motherfucker's name now, right?
And it's funny is because
talk.
Okay.
I want to see something.
All right, and then you have Elias goes to Ezekiel. It's a whole new personality. Fine. Raquel. No, just
okay.
Follow my thing here. Then you have Raquel Gonzalez, who becomes Raquel Rodriguez. Then you have...
Oh, yeah. Hold up. Pause. Because we need to talk about her come in with Raquel.
Okay, no.
No.
Just let me go through the names.
Oh, my God. Okay.
And then we'll go. So so Ludwig Sauerkraut gets his name changed when he gets from NXT to SmackDown. Raquel gets
By the way, Marcel Bartel is his real name. That's why.
Rodriguez gets her name changed when she comes up from NXT to SmackDown.
Her real name is Victoria Gonzalez.
Sarave got his name changed when he went from Raw down to NXT. Sangha. I'm going to skip 2. Then Sam Stroker and Lewis Howley are now Elton Prince and Kit Wilson. And when they went from NXT UK to NXT
Yes.
2.0. So at least with all of those people, their names changed when they went from brand to brand. I feel so bad. I don't like Raul Mendez, but just all of a sudden his name is Cruz del Toro one day, and he's on the same show doing the same thing.
Also, as we've talked about, Vince does not want anyone using their real name anymore that they got hired in as, which I do believe Raul Mendoza's real name is Raul Mendoza.
Right. So, and now...
I hope this is not true.
Casey and Kaylee Ray are going to change their names too.
Why? Because it's their real names.
The run of WWE name change is a result of Vince McMahon recently deciding he did not want newer talent using any part of their real names or names previously established on the indies.
Here's the problem with that, okay? Casey Catanzaro, America's sweetheart, is known as Casey Catanzaro because that's a real fucking name because she competed on Ninja Warrior, which is why you hired her.
So what's Gable Stevenson's name going to be? What's John Cena's name going to be?
Ooh, well, no longer. He no longer wants. So that means that I assume Cena is like tenured. He's grandfathered in. Tenured. Yes. Randy Orton will be those things. Those guys will get to stay. Unless they're just going to change John's name to John. Or or Peacemaker.
He could put his mask back on and be Juan Cena again.
Juan Cena, yes. Oh my lord. I'm sorry. This is just insulting my fucking intelligence, okay?
But here's
this, I understand, as Dennis Miller once says, I don't want to get off on a rant here, okay? But I know it's not, kayfabe is dead, okay?
Right.
And people have name changes, they have gimmick changes, they have all this. Here's a little bit of the problem with that. Nothing is changing with them but their names. They almost all have the same character.
Right. Well, a couple of them have a different one.
When they change them so drastically bad. Pete Dunne to Butch. The scrappy, fighting, angry rascal. The Bruiserweight is now
a rabid Wolverine. The rabid scrappy puppy.
Rabid Wolverine. Yes. He is. He's fucking scrappy dude to that team, isn't he? Elias to Ezekiel. The fuck? What was wrong with that? Even if you wanted to repackage Elias, what the fuck was wrong with that?
He died, remember?
He didn't die. He just set his shit on fire and walked away and said Elias is dead. If he really died, why did his limo blow up? Why wasn't he set on fire? Why didn't he just fucking eat a shotgun or something, okay? He's not dead, and he's not dead. Why is he not dead? Because you just posted a picture with him and his brother.
No, we...
I cannot wait to see Elias versus Ezekiel as a pre-taped segment match where somehow they are going to do body double face morphing deep fake things between these two fighting each other in the back somehow. I cannot wait to see this. See Rey Mysterio's eye being ripped out.
No, Joe Bash, we decide that Randy Orton gets tenured.
Yeah, he's tenured. He's grandfathered in. He will not lose his name, just like John Cena will not lose his name.
But here's the other thing, all right? Vince has said, so we have now superstars from Raw and SmackDown on NXT every single week, right? Why?
Yep.
Because he wants people to watch NXT. Why then change their names when they debut on the main show and completely change their personality?
This is insulting your intelligence. It really is. It's insulting the fans' intelligence that... Also, I thought about this on the ride over, right? And imagine you're a talent, okay?
Do you want to talk about any of these people any more specifically?
Fuck every one of those people, okay? Except for Walter. Fuck that. All that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Imagine you're a talent.
Okay. I'm imagining... am I a superstar or am I a wrestler?
I don't know. We'll have to talk to Cody about that. You're a superstar wrestler, okay?
Okay.
Now, imagine you're a talent.
All right, I'm a talent.
And maybe your contract's up or they're giving you an option, okay?
Okay, more money.
And they come to you and they say...
I need more money.
Hey, we're going to bring you up to the main roster.
All right, yes.
You're on NXT, you're on the main roster.
All right. Like just like in the game.
Yeah, here's
just
the
like
thing.
in 22.
Yeah, here's the thing, though. We need to change some things.
All right, what do we got to change?
All right. Well, first off, you need a new name.
Okay, but Joey the Jobber has been working well for me, but okay, what do you want to change my name to?
Well, we're thinking about changing your name to Schmucko Fuck Off. All right? Now, I know you've been working as kind of like a bruiser, kind of badass, you know, yeah, kind of beating people up. You know, you always lose, but you always get your shit.
Yeah, I
mean,
I get my stuff in.
So we're gonna get rid of that too, okay? We're gonna have you come out, and you're gonna have a giant bag of donuts that you're gonna throw to the crowd, okay?
Can it be Joey Bag of Donuts?
No, because that would make sense. We're gonna call...
And Joey's my real name.
Yeah, and Joey's your real name, so we got to get rid of that, okay? We're gonna do that, all right? And we're gonna give you new theme music, even though you've had the same theme music for a while. We'd like you to kind of change your wrestling gear too. Don't worry, you know, the art department will take care of all that. Here's some concept ideas that we have. This is kind of what we're thinking. Now, we know your contract's coming up, and we kind of want to do like a little extension-y kind of thing and bring you up to the main brand and stuff like that.
Okay,
you know,
all right.
You've been making about, you know, 100,000 a year for the last 1 to 3 years or so.
Right. Okay.
We're gonna bump you up to like 105,000.
Oh, all right. Well, hey, that's the good money now.
Yeah, you know.
I get paid if I'm in catering, right?
And then at the same time, you get a phone call from, say, your buddy, I don't know, Adam Cole, who you used to work with at AEW, and he's like, "Hey, man, how's it going?" And you proceed to tell them.
Well, you know,
Yes.
I've got...
Oh, by the way, you're not going to get to talk. And when you do talk, you're only going to get to talk as a manager for somebody else.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that.
Adam Cole goes, "Man, that's some shit, huh? Yeah, they tried doing that to me too. You know what? Hey, when's your contract, you know, coming up?"
I just signed a 2-year extension.
Do you have an out clause? Have they given you an option? Because, you know, Tony's looking for new guys. You can't talk to Tony yet because, you know, you're non-compete, you know, kind of thing like that. But I'm just saying, you know, the door's open. I could talk to some people. Would you not sit back and go, well, at this point, despite everything I just said about Matt Cardona, I think I would have to look at this and go, well, Karrion Kross, Keith Lee, Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, all of these people that were either offered shit positions or given shit positions or terribleness, I think I would sit back and go, you know, I'm going to ride this 90 days out.
So
I've been a professional wrestler working independently without having to have another job for the last couple years because Vince has paid me a decent amount. Even if you're a low-paid guy, like $60K a year, that's still not bad as a professional wrestler working once a week on television, okay?
Right.
I think I would have to say, yeah, I think I'm going to go shop around for a minute there, Vince. I think I don't want to be Joey McFuckoff carrying a bag of donuts around.
I know. Why can't I be just Joey Bag of Donuts? That's my wrestling name, Joey Bag of Donuts.
Because it would make sense.
All right. We're just going to get straight to it.
Okay. It's on card stock this week. Like, what the...
That's because the kids' birthday invitations
all got printed. Nice.
So what are we gonna talk about first? Let's talk about NXT first.
Yeah, NXT first because we kind of lined up and changed it because we know we always get buried on Raw for like 40 minutes, but NXT.
The Bloodline can kiss my grits.
Yeah.
That match went 3 different ways. It was a great match.
And then it wasn't.
And then it was a great match again. But you had them shaking hands, then killing each other, and then shaking hands. And I know how you feel about the whole shaking hands thing when you're not a Ring of Honor wrestler doing the Ring of Honor code of conduct.
Yes. No, this was...
And,
I don't get why...
Solo Sakai refuses. He'll say all the Bloodline things. By the way, the one thing... And I recommend you go... The one reason I would recommend anybody to watch NXT this particular week is because the crowd it was not their normal, these are our friends and family crowd.
No, it was. They're just sick of the shit that they're being shoveled.
They were just raunchy, rocking, like booing the baby faces, cheering the heels. It was like
they were not having it anymore because they're sick of being lied to from these fucking people.
They had enough.
They'd had enough of this shit.
So, there was at one point in time, there was a you deserve it, no you don't. Look, constantly.
Okay, no disrespect to Solo Sakai, but just fucking be an Uso, okay? It will solve so many problems because I'm sorry.
I may have the bloodline, but I don't rely on my family.
I hate. Then why isn't he fucking talking to Roman? And much like Jimmy being made into a little bitch like they were on there. And the problem... Okay, here's the thing.
As soon as he
No, stop. Here's the thing. The motherfucker's one of the Usos, okay? And they're acknowledging that he's one of the Usos because everybody knows that he's one of the Usos, but they're not making him one of the Usos, and they're still going with the background that he's a street-fighting, Muay Thai, underground fucking champion of the island, okay? Now, comma. Braun motherfucking Breaker is Rick Steiner's kid. They just had the Hall of Fame thing where they had him inducted and acknowledged he's his kid. Why is he still Braun Breaker? Why are you acknowledging that these people... It reminds me... By the way, when we talk about Raw, they did actually reference Veer Mahan as having $1 million arm. Nice tongue-in-cheek shot there. But this reminds me of when Curtis Axel... So for those of you who don't remember Curtis Axel, that's fine. He was there for a cup of coffee. But Curtis Axel is Kurt Hennig's kid, okay?
He was there for more than a cup of coffee. Yeah.
No one remembers. No one cares. He got stuck in a tag team with Ryjacked, okay? Now, he was on NXT as Michael McGillicuddy. Now, for some of you out there who might question things, McGillicuddy is a commonly used name that people in entertainment wrestling use when they don't want to rely or use their real name, okay? Or their traditional name, as it were. Kind of the same thing like, Alan Smithy film, kind of things like that. You don't want credit for that, right? So he was Michael McGillicuddy. And then he got repackaged as Curtis Axel, a combination of Kurt Hennig and their dad, Larry the Axe Hennig, okay? But they would acknowledge that he was Kurt Hennig's son. Just like they would acknowledge that Bray Wyatt as, what was his fucking fat name that he had? Timber Wolf or whatever the fuck it was. They would acknowledge... Husky Harris. They would acknowledge that he was IRS's kid. And they're like, well, they don't want to use his name.
Do you remember Legacy?
Why are none of... Yes, Legacy. They got to use their fucking names.
Only 2 of the 3. Because Randy Orton...
Randy Orton's Randy fucking Orton. DiBiase is DiBiase. And Cody Rhodes is Cody fucking Rhodes, which now they're letting him be. My point is, Solo Sakai is an Uso. Just be an Uso.
Oh, is Cody got to change his name?
Breaker is... What's his name? Something Richtensteiner, whatever. Yeah. If you can't afford you just brought him back so you can have licensing, obviously, for their fucking merch because you have T-shirts for them now on your website for the Steiners. Just make him a Steiner.
Maybe when he goes to the main show.
Why are we being insulted again of our intelligence that we don't know who these people are?
I think that. So what I think was supposed to have happened. It doesn't work anymore, but I think that they weren't trying to let people know he was a Steiner, even though he looks like his dad, acts like his dog.
But they just referenced the fact that he was a Steiner and everything that they had, and referenced both of his family members and everything. They showed his father on screen, and he just had the induction at the Hall of Fame for it. Stop having Braun Breaker be Braun Breaker. Just make him Braun Steiner. Okay.
It was a good match though.
It was a fine little match. Solo Sakai is not. Maybe that's the problem.
He's not ready.
Maybe he's just not there yet. But if you put him in with the Usos and use the Freebird rule or something like that, he could get covered up for his lacking as a solo talent for that.
But Cameron Grimes did make him look good.
I understand he's supposed to be some kind of weird kickboxing, Muay Thai, island street fighting champion of the hood, right? Okay?
Just like Nikita Lyons, but we'll get to that.
Dude, get better wrestling shorts. Because every time you have to stop and pull up your fucking pants because they're falling down, it breaks the illusion. Okay? When in the middle of working, he has to stop and pull up his fucking boxing pants because they're falling down. Not good, dude.
I think I'm just going to have the little parental advisor on all of the slides going forward.
Good, because guess what the next match is? Von fucking Wagner defeats Eichmann Jiro.
So before we go there, do you want to talk about Vacant having the tag belts and how we got there? Because NXT didn't bother.
Oh, no. We will talk about that when we get to the gauntlet match itself, okay?
All right. So, yeah, Von Wagner is trying to impress a chick. He beat up Jacket Time.
Who is this bitch?
I don't know.
We did not get to talk about this because we were doing the double WrestleMania show.
They still haven't said.
But they did a segment where there was a random person in the crowd at one of the matches.
Just watch it.
And then they went to commercial, and then they had a new match with Von Wagner where once again there was just another random person in the crowd watching.
She's some blonde.
And she's some blonde. She's hot, okay? I'll admit she looks good. But we haven't acknowledged, we haven't talked about it, we haven't said anything for that. Von Wagner's just trying to impress her. And how does he impress her? By beating up little Eichmann Jiro in 2 minutes. Fuck this show. Apparently, you know what happened when Vince turned the almighty Eye of Sauron onto NXT? He realized, oh shit, we have Asians here? We need to fucking bury them because that's what we've always done.
Oh. Kushida deserved so much better.
I'm sure Eichmann Jiro did, even though his character's fucking stupid.
Well, maybe we don't know what he was like before. We just know what we got. But we know Kushida is better.
We know Kushida is better than this, but Kushida's getting bounced around like a fucking pinball by Von fucking Wagner, who his steroided caveman fucking head is bigger than Eichmann Jiro's body, okay? And he fucking sucks.
All right, so then we did some segments with Rick Steiner's poor father being put in a cage.
Oh, okay, so I have to... I need to talk about this just for a second, okay? Because remember they were going to do a segment with Rick and Tommaso at Breakers Championship win, and they canceled that, right? Because Rick wasn't there, and then they did the little off-camera thing where Tommaso shook Rick's hand to saying, hey, you know, thanks for being here kind of deal, right? So then they do the Hall of Fame, which comes on suddenly, and they got Scotty, which also came on suddenly, right? And I was like, well, okay, maybe they'll do a little something with Rick and them like that. And then this is what we got.
I'm sorry, son!
We got Rick being kidnapped. Now, if I'm Scotty, okay, and I'm still hanging around in the area where they're filming and doing stuff at, you know, or I live there, because I think Scotty lives in Atlanta, I think. But let's say he's visiting, you know, and he goes, so what are you doing this week, Rick? You're going to be on the show, huh? And Rick goes, well, they're gonna kidnap me, and they're gonna throw me in a cage, and this thing's gonna happen. And Scotty probably sits back and says, and that's why I didn't want to come back. Gacy's now a full psycho. Yeah. This is our blurb right here on the thing. I have nothing more than to say that. He legitimately committed crime.
But
we've talked about crime being allowed on the show and other people calling the cops, Grayson Waller, LA Knight, that made no sense anyway in a legality term of what just happened in the ring, other than the fact that it's Florida cops, and I assume they just went, cool, whatever, you know, oh, there's no people here for us to shoot. This commits crime, and he's a psychopath. I have not...
But so we went from a cool Ian Bear ripoff.
I assume the reason that like Bray Wyatt and the Undertaker as the mythical, magical, demon-powered people were not punishable by management for doing shit because they couldn't contact them, okay? Because they were living in the other realm. So when the lightning struck or the bells tolled, that's when the Undertaker rose up from the earth. So they couldn't talk to the Undertaker because they didn't have a medium, okay? They couldn't talk to Bray Wyatt because he was in the earth rejuvenating like fucking Swamp Thing, right? Okay, that's why you can't punish them for setting Randy Orton on fire. Joe Gacy's just walking around backstage and nobody goes, hey, that fucking guy just tried to kidnap and murder a Hall of Famer. Somebody call the popo on him. No, we're just going to ignore all that. We can't live half in reality and half not, because that's sports entertainment, and I'm not being entertained. I'm being irritated.
All right. So the next segment was with Nikita Lyons. I need your thoughts on Nikita Lyons before we go forward.
Okay. Unique could turn into a good talent. They gave her too much shit to have to do.
I agree with Cornette.
They literally gave her every gimmick that they could pile onto her possible. Okay? And she needs to have about 5 of those taken away.
Right.
All right? Also, if she's going to be a striker, look, I don't care if you train at the gym. I don't care if you've had an amateur fight or something like that. But if you're going to be a striker, you need to make your shit look good, okay? But you also need to determine what type of striker you are. She can't be a boxer and a Muay Thai. I know mixed martial arts exist, but follow me with this, okay? She can't be doing all of these moves in the match, okay? She can't be doing knees and kicks and flips and spin kicks and taekwondo and all this shit like that. She needs to cut it down to just about 5 moves of doom, okay? And then she'll be fine. Also, she's not ready for TV.
No.
Okay? And
okay,
the reason
good. I'm glad you agree.
The reason I'm saying that is because it is very clear, and I don't know who it is, but there are moments where she stands and somebody clearly tells her she's not standing where they want her to, and she has to stop and move to where the camera is at.
Yep.
Because I have seen her go to do celebrations, and she's like, yeah!
And the other thing is, if you're gonna... So here's my thoughts. I don't think she's as pretty as I thought she was.
I'll comment that and say I think she's more fucking gorgeous than what I thought she was, because I don't know if the filters on her Insta or whatever.
Yeah, I've seen her Instagrams.
But her Insta pictures are fucking smoking hot.
Okay, so, and that's what I thought too. Okay, well then, whoever did the pancake makeup on her face during that interview on NXT, it looked like she didn't have any eyes or eyebrows.
For some reason, too, and I don't understand how you have the best production company in the world. Whoever's working in your lighting department, too, has got some issues, because you need to learn how to light people.
Right.
You know?
I know. I mean, I'm doing the best I can over here.
Yes, they need to learn how to light people a little bit better, especially if you're going to do certain styles of makeup and thing.
Yeah.
Like, we saw it with Lexi. Really bad on Raw, where Lexi would be like, she would have the ghost face, but then they would shoot it, and you could clearly see the outline of white makeup across her face. They need to work on their lighting for this, okay? You live in the world of 4K high-definition television, okay?
So, which means you don't need as much makeup anymore. So, if you're gonna shoot this girl to the moon like you're trying to,
well,
don't!
This is the new Nia Jax.
Don't ever say that again. Don't have her work with one of your worst talents in Lashley.
No, Lash Legend.
Lash Legend.
And their argument is dumb. Their argument is like, who's the next baddest bitch on NXT? And trust me, it's not Lash Legend.
No.
It's not.
So, anyway.
No, their feud is terrible. Speaking of, and I see you have bulletin points here for what's next, but I do want to, I want to jump ahead one match before we get to what you said there. Zion Quinn versus Draco Malfoy, okay?
Why? Why?
This was 3 minutes. It felt like 12. And I do not know of two people who look like they should be professional wrestlers. They look like create-a-character professional wrestlers, okay? That's how professional wrestling WWE they look, right? Like, Zion Quinn is big, jacked, tattooed, Samoan. Like, he's got the big fucking knee pads and everything on. He's got the shorts and stuff, and he looks great. And then you have Draco, who looks like your buddy, who's a big fan of indie wrestling. Like, you're the WWE fan, so you design Zion Quinn, and then your buddy plays with you, and he has the indie wrestler who's in camo pants and shirtless, and he's a big jacked up black dude with like an afro kind of look, okay? That's what they look like, all right? I do not know of two people who look like they should be in WWE who are less interesting than these two fucking people right now.
Yes.
This was flat and dead and bad, and every time one of them did something, and what they did was not bad athletically. Athletically, they were fine. But anytime they did a move and one of them did their Hulk up, like, ugh, that's what they got. Fucking crickets.
Yeah, you had one of the loudest NXT crowds. Like
they could not care less about these two people.
I think everybody collectively went and took a crap.
Yeah, this was the go buy merch at the merch stand thing, as we joke for the women's match. Now, moving on to the women's match. Mandy Rose, your champion, who is apparently god of this brand because she cannot be dethroned by anyone, including 5 other bitches, fought Dakota Kai for no fucking reason. Oh, that's right, because Dakota Kai just made up with her bestie, Raquel Welch.
Well, they lost the tag team belts.
They had the belts, and then they lost the belts. And Dakota Kai, who was crazy, is no longer crazy, but she's still kind of crazy. And Raquel got called up to the other show, so we need to find something for Dakota Kai to do. And what do we need to do? We put her in the ring with Mandy Rose, who, as we talked about, is not bad, but not great. Can't really guide a match. Followed by the fact of what Wade Barrett just said. Dakota Kai fucking sucks.
Pause. Now, here's the problem with everything that he just said. Not what he said specifically, but here's the problem. So, Mandy Rose and the hot bitches, or whatever the hell they're named, Pretty Deadly. Take out
Toxic Attraction. Pretty Deadly are the pretty boys on NXT UK who just took a picture with the tag titles in the shitter.
They should have sent me that photo. I've posted it.
It's on their page.
Toxic Attraction took out Raquel, destroyed her
again,
so that she could no longer be. And then 2 days later, she shows up in SmackDown.
Yes. Did they hit her? They
beat her.
They didn't hit her in the leg with the dinosaur bone this time, though.
No.
That was the problem.
But they took her out into where she, and now that's the whole reason. That's why.
Dakota Kai is seeking revenge.
She's seeking revenge because you took out my friend. Well, her friend is now on another show
with a different name and looking very happy to be there.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that.
Yes.
So yes. Wade literally says how technically amazing Dakota as she botches 3 moves in a row.
This is not a lie. She ate shit 3 times in a row. They tried to rewind.
What match are you watching,
Think about
Wade?
this. Think about this, all right? Dakota Kai has been praised by Shawn fucking Michaels as great, okay? And you have Mandy Rose, who is... Let's be real. She's known for being pretty, okay?
Yep.
And she puts in the work. She has good work ethic, in my opinion. She's not, as I said, she's good. She's not great. She's passable for what she can do, right? And she has to be in the ring thinking, and this bitch gets called amazing?
Yeah, right.
And people look at me like I'm the problem? Right. She's like, I just did a fucking cartwheel handstand thing and landed that shit. She can't even run the fucking ropes.
Without tripping all over herself.
Oh my god. Alright, so moving on. Wendy Chu has a super soaker. I'm not going to talk about that other than that.
Yeah, what the hell is that all about?
Tony D'Angelo, who beat Tommaso Ciampa into the main roster,
was christened the Dawn.
Drank
the blood
by some fucking guy. We did not talk about Stand and Deliver at all. I had to Google search who this fucking guy was.
Who was he? Because I couldn't find him.
He is the former owner of a minor league hockey team who was known for brawler style stuff. They were called
nothing so mafia like owning a hockey team.
Well, the reason for that is his dad was not Tony Soprano, but essentially he ran like a multimedia trash company, but then he was also indicted years later for like embezzlement and fraud and all this other stuff, right? Not him, his dad. Right. And they lost the hockey team because of stuff like that.
Gotcha.
But This guy had a Netflix documentary on, what is it, like, You Can't Believe the True Crime or whatever the fuck it is.
Interesting.
Like, that's what he's famous for. That's what I'm getting at. He's famous for having a documentary on fucking Netflix. And this is Tony D's conciliary fucking whatever the fuck his... I don't know. I'm not Italian, okay? I don't even really like The Godfather.
I am Italian.
Okay? I think The Godfather's an alright movie, but I don't live my fucking life by it, okay? But, like... The initiation guy, whatever the fuck that is, the person who jumps you in, all right? I'm a little bit more hood, okay? But that guy, that's the guy who Tony D is being initiated by.
Yeah.
How is this motherfucker over? How? How is he over? Other than the fact of he has legit credentials, as I screwed up on the show, NAACP... rankings.
So maybe
I watch that and I watch my face when Kevin's like, "What did you just say?" And I'm like, "What did I just say?" And I'm like, "Oh, I did just fuck up and not say the right letters."
I think that this is somehow to get the drug cartel over again. So the thing is, Tony's going to have to find 2 more lackeys.
I'm sure they'll fucking drag up some schmoes at this point. Maybe the guy Walter killed on SmackDown.
Maybe they'll change the rednecks into some Italians.
Okay. Natalia showed up. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a flying fuck. I want Natalia to go away. I've wanted her to go away for years now.
All right, so I'm going to say this. I used to think Natalia was very beautiful. I used to thought she was very good looking. But whatever they're doing to her lips...
It's called plastic surgery and collagen injection.
She literally looks like a duck.
Yes, she has duck face.
She literally looks like...
duck
face was like 20 years ago.
She's been there for 20 years.
But... And she picked on poor Cora Jade.
Yeah, why? Why Cora Jade? What did Cora Jade do to deserve this?
The literal smallest wrestler they have.
I can't believe they hired her. I cannot believe they hired Cora Jade, honestly. The only thing I can think of is somebody in the back is jacking it to some Avril Lavigne fetish that they had. And the sad thing is she's not bad. Cora Jade is not bad. She's fairly believable. She bumps all right. She bumps like a little girl who is 100 pounds should bump.
She's like the new Bayley.
Things.
She's like the new Bayley.
Yeah, she's very much like the new Bayley. She's not bad. I'm just saying that why do you have to have Natalia come down to NXT to give her the rub when Cora Jade could have easily showed up on SmackDown and smacked Natalia in the face?
Because every week a Raw or SmackDown supervisor,
that's what they
superstar will be on NXT. That is the way going forward. To cross promote.
Yes, but it's the fucking B team. Who else from the B team can show up?
I don't know.
All right, let's talk about the real thing.
The tag team. Let's talk about the tag team.
I'm just going to do this fast. The Creed brothers defeated the drug cartel. The Creed brothers defeated the Rednecks. The Creed brothers defeated Grayson Waller and Sanga because they're a tag team. And then they lost to Elton Prince and Kit Wilson, who have now been renamed. I don't mind these guys.
I don't know anything about Pretty Deadly. You used to watch NXT UK.
I mean, they're not my favorite. I don't think they should not have beat Gallus, in my opinion. But somebody had to beat Gallus, and these two guys were fine. They brought them over. They're pretty guys. You know, they're not bad. We did a recap where I talked about them. You can go back and check the archives, obviously. I talked about the match that they had where the blonde kid had his pants busted open in the middle of the match, and he had to wrestle with his underwear falling down the whole match. It was hilarious. And I believe they were taped, too, during the pandemic, so it's not like they couldn't have paused and fixed his fucking shorts.
Right.
Not the worst thing in the world. This is pretty good. Let's talk about how we got there for a second. How did we get there? Well, Nash Carter got fired.
Why did Nash Carter get fired, Michael?
Well, you would think he would have gotten fired for going full Johnny Depp and apparently beating his wife.
Allegedly
beating his wife. Nope, he got fired because he took a picture, and look, all right, I'm going to comment this again just for a second, all right?
Not a male alive who can grow facial hair who hasn't done half of this.
I'm going to say this, okay? It's poor taste. It's absolutely poor taste, all right? And I'm not supporting it. I'm not backing it. I have never done it, okay? Because I don't grow thick mustachial facial hair, right? But Carter apparently texted a picture to his, I assume, estranged wife now at this point. By the way, apparently Darby's ex-wife, Gigi Allen, or Gigi Dolan, is Nash's side piece in NXT, which is what's creating the friction between Nash and his estranged wife, who he's been estranged for about a year now, according to the other guy, what's the other guy's name in MSK?
Wes Carter.
Yeah, or Wes Lee.
Wes Lee.
Yeah.
Used to be Wes Carter in Impact.
Wes Lee, his wife tweeted out that Nash has been living with them, sleeping on their couch for the past year because his estranged wife is a fucking crazy person, and they had a nice Twitter war. I'm jumping all over the place. My point is that why did he get fired? Well, his wife posted out a picture on Stand and Deliver weekend immediately after they won the match, tagging NXT in it, showing a picture of her in a neck brace with a busted lip and a black eye, saying that he beat the shit out of me, okay? A long time ago, a year ago, whatever it was.
So I thought it was recently.
I think it was
yeah.
It was not a long time ago,
right?
But it wasn't like 2 days ago, right?
Right.
Okay. But no. Apparently he took a picture that he sent to her where he was shaving, and he decided to...
Every guy that can grow facial hair has done this at least once in their life.
Look, I think it's a stupid-looking mustache to begin with anyway, not because of the person who has made this famous. And look, if Michael Jordan cannot make it hip and cool again and be in a Hanes commercial that aired on national and probably worldwide syndicated television, no one should have that mustache.
Why can't it be a Charlie Chaplin mustache?
That's the problem. Is it should be Charlie Chaplin. It absolutely should be remembered as Charlie Chaplin. But unfortunately, there's another guy who rocked that mustache who is a little bit more infamous than Charlie Chaplin. So, in the future, guys, as he has just pointed out, when you are shaving, don't stop and take a funny picture and send to someone,
or
because it's very poor taste.
If you take the picture, don't extend the arm.
Yes. even then, if you,
don't extend the arm.
As a joke, again, without context is king. He might have taken that and been like, "Is this what Michael Jordan's rocking right now?" Don't know. Apparently, that's what he got fired over. Not the other thing. Even though WWE and Triple H came out about a year or two ago, and with a lot of the things going on that were topical at the time, said that they would institute a zero tolerance policy.
Yes.
So far, in my opinion, they really have, but also have not maintained that. Because some people who have had accusations levied against them, fuck you, Velveteen Dream. Sorry, I don't care if you say it's bullshit. Motherfuckers have proof that you did it.
Yeah, it will.
You got to have a job for a year.
Yep.
So their policy kind of wavers back and forth depending on, I assume, internal investigations about the thing. But overall, this is why we don't have NXT Tag Team Champions right now.
But we do now.
I mean, this is why we had to have a tournament to crown new NXT Tag Team Champions. We also are not going to cover this up and say, after a grueling match where MSK won the titles, it was discovered that Nash Carter had injured himself and will be out for a unknown amount of time.
No, they didn't even say that. They just said, we need to get new tag team champions. I feel bad for Wes.
I do, because I think Nash Carter was the more interesting one, obviously.
Right.
But I think Wes was the more talented one.
Right.
I think when Nash lost the pudgy fat belly and started getting a little bit more exercised in, and also stopped doing the fucking stupid backflip shove me halfway across the ring spot that was the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life, they got more entertaining. They got a little bit better. I'm sorry for them, but if you're getting caught in a reverse #MeToo kind of thing, I feel really bad for you. But if you fucking smacked your wife around, you're a piece of shit, and you shouldn't be in fucking business getting paid anymore, okay? That's kind of my stance on it.
So
there's two sides to every story. I don't know if you will ever get the full side of what exactly happened, what's going on. But if it's one way, I feel really bad for you. I hope you get a chance to come back despite the stupidness. On the other side of it, if that turns out to be exactly what happened, fuck you and go away.
So, I was reminded this week watching NXT, because it's the first time I actually sat down and like really watched NXT. Usually, I'll watch NXT with my phone in my hand, doing 15 other things. It's been 3 weeks since I've sat down and watched NXT. I need to pay attention to what the commentators have said so I can get an idea of what happened. I didn't watch Stand and Deliver, didn't have time. So I'm paying attention. And I forgot this, and I realized there is not a single, and you made me think about this when you were there is not a single wrestler who is a wrestler. Every single person has a character.
Yes.
There is you have rednecks, you have jacket time.
They turned NXT into Saturday Night's main event from 1988.
It is a serious clown show. There is not a single person who's just a wrestler.
Well, there is one. I get, well...
Who?
No.
You say Walson?
Yeah.
Walson?
Well, they're not there anymore. By the way, Imperium broke up.
Yeah.
But they didn't. But they did.
But they didn't.
But they did.
All right.
We'll cover that in a minute. Yeah, NXT had some decent matches, but the show fucking sucks.
And right now, your only good wrestler on the card, the only two good wrestlers on the card, in my opinion, are Bronson and Cameron. And Cameron's not going to be on the show much longer, I'm thinking. Oh, wait, we forgot to talk about the Index and Hudson.
Nope. I'm not covering that.
Okay.
I'm not covering that this week. I can't.
Okay. So, this is where I'm going to absolutely annoy Mike. I showed Sean this. I don't know if Sean told you this.
No.
There is a guy who does TikToks. And he does recaps.
You told me you were going to do this.
And he does recaps. So this is the Raw recap from him before we do our Raw recap.
Okay.
So I'm going to move.
Yeah, are we going to get hit for content violation?
I hope
on
not.
This one? Because this fucking TikToker?
We're going to mute our mic.
I mean, if you think about it, the two of you had no business being a tag team. The $1 Million Man partnering with the IRS? It makes no goddamn sense! Welcome to the Most Must See.
Yeah, how do you like that new entrance?
You sure you don't need a few more minutes to grandstand?
I came here to collect belts.
We don't have belts. Belts hold up your pants, stupid.
You're full of shit, stupid.
I'm one of the highest paid guys here, stupid.
Not anymore.
You're really trying to make that mullet happen, aren't you? I imagine that mullet will be fully grown in by the time we hit Pittsburgh this summer. You'll fit right in.
Sir, I have Detroit Police Department on the phone. They claim they just witnessed a murder on USA Network.
We may want to find a safe house for Veer. I don't think anyone told him this is sports entertainment.
I need a filing system for these wrestlers. Where the hell is Damian Priest? There he is.
Yeah, take that, you son of a bitch!
More shaking! More shaking!
Yeah! You think you'd find me? Ruin my WrestleMania moment?
This episode of Monday Night Raw is sponsored by Dramamine. Because your stomach's a total pussy.
Good thing this show is 3 hours long. We're 43 minutes into the show and we're just starting our second match. If this were Dynamite, they'd have 5 matches, 4 promos, and 3 curse words that would make Steve Austin blush. And that's the bottom line, 'cause Stone Ass, Steve Ass, said ass. Sure, what the hell? Let's do 2 sets of walkouts for Miz and Cody tonight.
Don't mind me, just cutting through. This is my new thing. I walk around looking for fights.
It's nice to meet you, Ezekiel. No, monsieur. That is not Ezekiel, that is Elias. I'm sorry, but you are mistaken. I am Elias's younger brother, Ezekiel. You can't fool me, monsieur. Look, it says it right there on the box. Elias. Am I the only one who's gone crazy around here? Yes, you've gone full-blown Tammy Stitch, a.k.a. Sonny. Now let's keep the show moving. Yep, you guessed it. You're going right back into the L column. Come to think of it, you're kind of like the singles version of the Iconics. Man, I always hated your IKEA setup. This fluffing floor can go straight to hell. Would you look at that? It fell apart the second I threw it out of the ring.
Man, I had sex with all strippers tonight. And that's what's up.
Title unification, Oos. Eat shit, Oos. We the ones, Oos. We coming for those meaningless Raw Tag Team Championships, Oos.
Fuck, that was a goddamn marathon.
Oh,
That went
whatever.
on forever.
It went on for 2.5 minutes.
Oh my god, that was 2.5 minutes of us just sitting in silence watching a guy. That was actually kind of funny. But, I mean, like, I don't see the point of us doing fucking Raw now. Like, that's basically what Raw was. Okay?
So, Jerry the King Lawler's out there because Corey got married.
Yeah, I'll talk about that. Actually, no. This is all I'm going to say about it. A few weeks ago, I ranted and raved about a tag team match featuring Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley. Rhea's out with COVID, by the way. Get better soon, baby.
She was on SmackDown.
I know, but that is it weird that... Well, she was in protocol.
Right.
She was in protocol.
She was being tested.
Yes. So, Rhea's out with that. And they had this match, and I said, great. This is going to lead to a Carmella versus Zelina Vega feud.
And it did.
And it is. We're
Yep.
getting Carmella versus Zelina fucking Vega. Zelina Vega, by the way, has gone full British psycho because she won the Queen of the Ring tournament, as all people who win the royalty of tournament matches do. Corey got married to fucking Carmella. Congratulations for you guys. Hope you guys have a very nice, happy life having fucking urinating sex with each other.
Did you see the wedding picture with John Moxley still in...
Still in his gar with his fucking fanny pack on. I guess Renee said that the reason he did that was because he had to leave soon. But, like, good for you guys. I don't care if you guys fuck. I really don't. I really, really don't.
What does this have to do with the King being the commentator for the night?
That's what I'm saying. The reason the King is the commentator is because Corey Graves and Carmella had to go celebratory fuck each other for putting their name, legality, and paper together, and I'm sure they're going to tell everybody about it on their show.
Which I won't watch. So, Miz TV, you know, Cody did say belt, he did say wrestler, and the Miz did, in fact, say... No, he did.
I thought this was great. Their back and forth was great. I thought their interaction was great. Go watch this promo. It's on the WWE.com thingy, whatever.
It was good. It was great.
This was a great fucking promo featuring a guy, like, as I said, as soon as they announced this the previous week, I was like, well, there goes Cody's fucking push. But he gave really good. Miz stood up really good for it. They had a fair thing. The ending was kind of sloppy where he went to charge Cody and Cody had to look at him to make sure he was charging him. But overall, I think everything they said was great. The fact that they're allowing Cody to use the banned words, and he's the only one really who's getting away with using the banned words, is really good. Me personally, if I'm booking Cody Rhodes and he's getting to do what he's seemingly getting to do in the way that he wants to do it with the pay that they're offering him. Somebody said, can he beat Roman? I don't see a problem why he couldn't beat Roman, but I hope they tell this story from WrestleMania to WrestleMania. I hope Cody has his little feuds. He wins, he loses. I hope he goes on, and I want to see Cody, if I'm booking this properly, win the Royal Rumble and go on to main event WrestleMania against Roman Reigns. And I don't give a fuck if Roman Reigns is a champion for another year because he's the head of the fucking table and he's awesome. And if Cody dethrones him next year, great. I think that is a wonderful story to tell for Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, honoring his family legacy, to go through a year of hell to get to Roman. Maybe let them talk. Maybe let him touch once. Maybe not even let him touch. Don't even let him touch. Just let them have a little bit of back and forth, hinting back to each other, and then have Cody win the Rumble, and then immediately say, you know, I'm coming for Roman. I think that's great.
So Cody wins the next Royal Rumble?
Cody,
he says it today.
Cody Rhodes will win. If everybody stays healthy, Cody wins the Royal Rumble.
Okay.
Are you,
I'm making it so that everyone... Keep talking.
Okay. Do I have to talk about that?
Yep.
Are we talking about the first match, or are we talking about the next bulletin point? By the way, no, we're going to talk about the first match. Apparently, so Dominic Mysterio, who also looks like a creative character, he looks like a child. He looks like a fucking 15-year-old who just got into wrestling, okay? I hate his outfit, I hate his look, I hate his stupid fucking hair, okay? I hate his hair so much. And he's not bad athletically for what he can do, but he's fucking terrible for the show, and he's uninteresting as shit. And Kevin, last week, when we talked about the show, talked about Charlotte Flair, and how he doesn't feel that if Charlotte Flair did not have the last name Flair with her daddy, that he wouldn't be anything other than another piece of bread in, you know,
Yeah,
in
we'll
the
say...
bag. He would not be the slice. She would not be the sliced bread. She would just be the heel, okay? I disagree with that, and we've talked about that.
However...
Fucking Dominic Mysterio, though, is absolutely... He would not be there if Daddy Ray was not his on-screen daddy. Okay? Like, legit.
On-screen daddy.
Legit. He's not toned. He's not fit. He's not jacked. He has some cardio. His hair is fucking stupid. His outfit is fucking stupid. His moveset is bland as shit. He's uninteresting as shit. And Veer squashed him in 1:58 by just fucking him up. And nobody told Veer to not fuck him up that badly, but he fucked that little kid up. And I feel so bad for the little kid that Veer showed a picture of, who was so excited for his debut to watch him beat up the Mysterios. And that little, like, 10-year-old kid had the picture, like, Veer's awesome, and Veer, like, did the poses and everything with him. Did you see these pictures? Yeah. It was great. And then Veer comes out, and he's just a fucking psychopath who's like, I have go. Oh, man. Yeah, man. Like,
alright.
What the fuck was that?
So then...
Veer's back, by the way. And like I said, they made reference to his $1 million arm because he legit is the $1 million arm guy.
And then...
Why couldn't he be a babyface?
Maybe he will.
Why? How can he be a babyface now? He just fucking murdered a 12-year-old. How? Why did they not make him a babyface in some way? Why is it everyone for the fucking WWE, whether they're on Raw or SmackDown, why does the testing block have to be the Mysterio feud?
I don't know. But hey, Braun Strowman started off like this and he became a face.
No. Okay?
Yes!
Braun Strowman had Bray Wyatt to help facilitate that, okay? In my opinion, Veer is better in the ring than Braun was when he started, because we saw Braun live, like, his third or fourth showing where he came out with the big mess. Braun got better, okay? Veer is better now than Braun was when he started. That's not saying much, by the way, okay, about Veer. But Veer is at least more interesting. He has a great look, but he's the same fucking character. And they're talking about his long-awaited debut. He already was there. Now he just has a longer name. Instead of a shorter name, he got a longer name.
All right, so
the fuck was this about?
I don't know. So then we get AJ with Priest.
What the fuck was this about?
So I also like how we set up. This is the second setup for a match that was already advertised. Like, oh hey, do we actually advertise these matches? Oh.
AJ comes into the building and they go, "Hey AJ, let's talk for a minute." And AJ says, "Okay." And then Damian Priest is walking around the back, and AJ is just like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna go beat this guy up." And he goes and they get in a fight in the back. And then we go to commercial. And then the match is going to happen. But first, we come back and Damian Priest has to cut a promo. I just got jumped in the back. Let me pause to cut a promo before I go out.
But that happened earlier. It makes no sense.
It makes no fucking sense. It makes no sense.
And then the light won the match. The blue light won the match.
Okay. So also on the way over here, I was thinking about this. And I remember one of the names that So the previous week's show, Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan apparently teased that they were going to have a breakup, and then they didn't have a breakup, and then they got a tag team title shot, okay, because plans change, right? Apparently, one of the plans that changed was that Rhea was supposed to be initiated into Edge's new faction. And I paused and thought to myself, well, that's good. You know, a couple months ago with Nikki Ass, I said, well, she should probably flip heel. This would make sense for her to do this at this point. Plus, you know, she's Queen Barb the Dominatrix. It kind of fits the aesthetic look and everything.
Right.
And then this match happened. And then Damian Priest goes to a no contest with AJ Styles because they were having a fucking decent match.
Yeah.
And they decided one guy can't beat the other one.
So the lights are going to go out and turn blue.
Hold on. Adam Copeland's not here this week. So we got to figure out a way to have both of these guys not lose but not win, right? So instead of just having a DQ or this is early enough in the show, we could have a DQ, or having a count out, or having these guys hate each other so much they've brawled to the back and they've both been counted out. No. They have a moment where they get on the outside of the ring and Damian fucking Priest crawls back in the ring and summons the light. And that's it.
Yep.
We go to commercial and that's it. And AJ's storming through the back saying, that's not how I wanted this to end. Neither did I.
No, really, nobody.
If I was in the audience, I would have thrown a fucking chair in the ring, okay? Stupid. Fucking stupid show. Tommaso Ciampa's okay with comedy. Apparently, he said this and they went, have we got some comedy for you, sir? You're going to pretend that Elias is Ezekiel.
No. I didn't get the picture, but I think the reason they did this is, did you see the picture of Tommaso Ciampa with no when he had short hair and no beard?
Yeah.
He looked almost like he could be Ezekiel's brother.
That probably was him in the Photoshop picture that they just put his body on top of. This is fucking dumb. Sorry, Tommaso Ciampa. Can't wait to see you in AEW in 90 days, okay?
Well, which, should we talk about that now? Yeah, no. I'm going to talk about that later. So then we got Naomi defeated Liv Morgan in 2 minutes.
As the guy in the video pointed out, hey, Liv, Rhea's not here to protect you this week.
You're taking the L.
You're taking the L. By the way, the other plot point I was getting to is I'm glad Rhea had COVID protocol, because if the solution to... I thought that if she got moved in with Edge, Edge could kind of protect her a little bit and be like, no, she's not going to lose in a 2-minute roll-up match to fucking Zelina Vega. That hurts the faction, right? He could protect her a little bit. After watching Damian Priest go to a no contest with AJ Styles via the lighting tech, I'm glad that she was on COVID protocol this week, and hopefully plans just get fucking forgotten about and scratched. However, though, Liv Morgan, who the fans are super fucking over with, to the point that she had to come out on Twitter and say, hey, some guy just lost his house and all of his life savings because someone catfished him pretending to be me and said they needed a bunch of money, so the guy gave it to him. She had to say, don't do that. If you ever get a message from anyone pretending to be me asking for money, this happened to Seth Rollins, don't do it.
Right.
Liv Morgan is so over that people on the fucking internet are giving fake people pretending to be Liv Morgan money. I guarantee you no one has done that for Queen Zelina or Naomi. Liv Morgan loses.
Yep.
Bianca Belair defeated Queen Zelina also in 2 minutes. Fucking thanks for playing. I bet, as we used to say, you think she's happy she's back? Hey, thanks for fucking over my, Twitch stream.
Right.
Thanks for fucking my husband over. Yeah, I'll come back. What am I going to be doing? You're going to be a crazy person. And we're going to give you Charlotte Flair's leftover outfits.
All right. So, before we get to the last two matches, let's talk about the other fluff and filler. So, Bobby was nothing before MVP on Raw, and I will fight you over that.
No, I fucking agree.
Okay. Good.
Which is why I sincerely thought LA Knight was going to be Bobby's mouthpiece. When they said they were doing that, I thought for 1,000% it would be LA Knight and Bobby Lashley.
It might still be.
Bobby Lashley is an insane specimen of a human being, and we've talked about I like Bobby, okay?
You just can't talk.
Bobby can talk. The problem is Bobby shouldn't talk, right. Okay? And he just...
Yes.
I've said it on the previous show.
Yep.
He doesn't need to get it up, but he talks so precise and elegant that I don't believe he's angry.
What's the difference between him and Keith Lee then?
Because I guess what I'm saying is that Keith Lee doesn't use the same terminology or words that Bobby does. Because Bobby's like, Omos got in the ring, and I admit I was afraid of that man. But then I smashed him. Like, but there's no, like, he doesn't get in the ring and be like, you know, I didn't know what I was walking into at WrestleMania. And then Omos gets in the ring, and I think to myself, that is a towering human being.
Got it.
But you know what? I smashed his ass.
Got it. Okay.
Inflection.
No, gotcha,
Keith
gotcha.
Lee can do that because Keith Lee's part of his shtick is him talking that. There's no emotion. Keith Lee talks to you like a professor explaining a science problem.
Agree.
Bobby Lashley speaks to you as if someone who is devoid of personality. Hence MVP, which is why they had to give MVP to Omos, because Omos actually cannot fucking talk.
So next week you get a lie detector test. I can't wait for that segment.
Fuck off. Fuck the fuck off.
Sonya Deville made herself a contender. Saw that coming.
Didn't. Wait, no, hold on. Didn't see it, saw it coming when she kept talking, but didn't see what was going to happen. But I was okay with what happened.
Okay.
I was okay with it.
I mean, it's something different.
What I did like, though, is at least for this, they did not do the terrible, she took her jacket off, so now she's a competitor, and then she put her jacket back on and she's management. And I just like the fact that finally they just said, fuck that stupid storyline, and dropped it when she walked in the back, and Adam Pearce, who's also now a nice guy again.
He sold it well.
What are you doing? And she goes, what's it look like? Whatever I want. I'm management. I can do this. And Adam Pearce goes, you can't do this. And she goes, stop me.
Right.
I thought that was great.
Adam
That was
sold
great,
it well.
except for, see previous archive comments, the most inconsistent fucking people on the show are Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville. Because Sonya went good to go evil again to give herself a title match, and Adam Pearce, who was an asshole, who was scared, then became an asshole, then went back to being a nice guy again.
You can't even talk.
I can't even keep it together. They are the most inconsistent motherfuckers on this show.
And then we're going to get a double wedding next week.
I don't give a fuck.
And Nikki's now chasing the 24/7, as Mike thinks she should be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then we have Randy Orton Riddle versus the Alpha Academy. Another great match. And
This was fine.
Riddle's
Alpha Academy's fucking buried.
Riddle's definitely taken most of the RKO's now, which we kind of...
Randy does one now. Randy does one.
But, like in all matches, Randy did the Randy bump when he threw poor little Chad onto the table.
Oh, absolutely. But Randy Orton, much like Beetlejuice, I can't do 2 shows in one night, baby. They said, Usos are like, all right, let's do this. And Randy's like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. And then they have a fight with the Street Profits between the Usos and the Street Profits. And the crowd loved this. And the crowd was going nuts for this. And this match was fucking great. And the crowd was chanting, this is awesome. And as soon as they started chanting, this is awesome, they went home.
So, this was the first time a Raw crowd didn't have to be piped in.
Yeah, no. No piping in for this. This is fucking great. Apparently they had a dark match I don't give a fuck about. SmackDown. I just want to fucking talk about SmackDown for a second in the dark match. LA Knight.
So, hold on.
Off.
I have to. Let me go to the... Can I at least go to the slide?
Go to the slide.
Okay. I'll even skip the little SmackDown TikTok for you.
There's a SmackDown TikTok? Are we TikTokers? No. I refuse. You get one.
Okay. It was last week's anyway. It was the week before's.
Okay.
All right. So, you want to talk about this image right here?
Nope, because we can't see that one apparently.
You want to talk about this image?
I thought it was the other guy. I thought it was the other Retribution guy.
You thought it was T-Bar?
I thought it was T-Bar, not Mace. I forgot which one was which because they don't matter. Sorry, LA Knight.
Well,
sorry.
No. Hear me out.
No.
Hear me out.
Okay.
Who does Mace kind of look like right in that picture? Got a nice jacket, nice shirt, some slacks, some sunglasses.
Kind of Bobby Lashley-ish.
Kind of looks like Bobby Lashley.
It also looks like he's wearing one of those nighttime things over his eyes and not sunglasses right there.
I get that. But
terrible. Fucking terrible.
So maybe
how the fuck this is it for LA Knight.
No, maybe they're grooming him for Lashley.
Not LA Knight, the other guy.
Oh, Mace has been dead. Nobody's seen Mason.
Oh, you mean again though?
Nobody's seen Mace in
LA
months.
Knight. How old is LA Knight? 36?
Oh, I'll look it up.
He's on the chopping block of almost 40. Okay, let's say he's got to be almost 40. Okay, if Eli Drake is not 38, I'm gonna be surprised. He's got to be almost there on the cusp, right? This is it for him. This right here proves they have decided that he is
39.
He's 39. All right, that's it for him.
Dolph Ziggler's 41.
Yeah, but Dolph Ziggler's been there for 25 years.
Holy shit, Cameron Grimes is only 28.
Yeah, Cameron Grimes is super young.
I thought he was.
They're not gonna. I mean, he's dead. This is death for his in-ring WWE career. He's gonna be MVP. He's the white MVP. He can talk his ass off. Occasionally he'll have some physicality because of that. What I don't understand is he still looks fucking great. Much like Batista, why are you going to cover up his body? LA Knight has a great physical body. And you put him in a suit. It's okay if he's in a suit every now and then. Mm-hmm. It looks cool, you know? But why every week? Every week he's going to be in a suit covered up if they do decide that this works.
MVP wrestled a couple matches here and there.
Yeah, but...
I know. I'm not...
But MVP also did not have the body of fucking LA Knight. LA Knight looks great. And he's not going...
He helped Mace beat Eric.
But LA Knight...
Viking.
LA Knight... Yeah, the Viking Raiders are fucking buried, by the way, again. Moving on. Rhea Ripley, who I guess did not have COVID, defeated Naomi.
Did you like Sasha's new schoolgirly, like, I'm not a badass look? I didn't. They are trying to make Sasha Banks a face.
I think
hard.
They are trying to make Sasha go away.
Like, she had the little big balls in her hair, like Naomi.
You don't have a pic?
I do not.
Really? We had to watch a fucking TikTok, but you don't have a pic of Sasha Banks looking like that?
No.
You think our viewing audience wouldn't want to see Sasha Banks' schoolgirl Princess Leia outfit and would rather watch some fat bald guy play with toys? I mean, I know what our audience is.
That hurts.
I know what our audience is, but come on. You got to throw that thing up, all right?
Okay.
While he's doing that, I don't understand this. Oh, by the way. So we're going to do that right there first. Sami Zayn cuts the typical WWE promo in the back where he says, I'm pissed off that I lost to Johnny Knoxville due to outside interference. Fuck that match. See our show with Kevin where I give my thoughts on that, where everybody in the room but me is wrong. He goes, I'm going to prove myself tonight. I'm going to fight the next guy who walks through the door. And in typical E fashion, it's fucking Drew McIntyre, the biggest guy that they could possibly get.
Right.
If it would have been Roman Reigns, I wouldn't have been shocked, right? And Sammy shits himself.
Hard.
Drew McIntyre, who was rumored to be being primed to go up against Roman next, has decided that needs to be delayed. We'll talk about that at the end of the show. But, okay. Drew McIntyre is going to fight Sami Zayn. Fuck it. Madcap Moss defeats Humberto. Him and Happy Corbin have a thing. I don't care.
Yeah, there's no pictures that they didn't.
I don't care.
You asked me to
look. No, I'm
look.
talking about that. I'm talking about this.
Yes, I know, but they don't have the pictures of her with the balls in her hair.
How do you not have?
Because they didn't put them on the Google machine. Oh wait, nope, that's her, Naomi. Because the Google people didn't do it. Sorry. They didn't do it. I can't. I would do it for you, but they don't have one.
So weird. Okay. Maybe you're being a little bit too specific with your search. Anyway.
I wanted the picture from her from last week.
Madcap Moss is apparently over because Drew McIntyre fucking spiked him on his skull at Crown Jewel, and now people like him. And people like him more than Happy Corbin. Because Happy Corbin became incredibly uninteresting when he went from Baron Bum-Ass Corbin
Which was
to Happy
interesting.
Corbin.
Which was super fun.
And yes, Baron Corbin as a bum was hilarious. And Baron Corbin even winning money at Vegas was hilarious, but he should have blown through all of his money by now.
Yes.
And that would have made it kind of also funny of a rags to riches to riches to rags story again.
Right.
But Madcap Moss and him get separated. Now Madcap Moss is getting a push.
So do you think that Drew likes being an interviewer now? More than chasing the 24/7 title?
Oh my God,
Mr.
you see
Gulak?
my eye twitching? You know what? Drew Gulak is like, let me compare it to something.
He teaches you how to wrestle in WK2
Oh,
too.
fucking annoying. I just actually had to do a storyline with Drew Gulak, and I was a babyface, so I had to be babyface. Drew Gulak is like, well, he's a trainer. He's a trainer because he's uninteresting, and he's not big enough. I'm sure he's a nice guy. I'm sure he's talented enough. Why does he need to be on television? Fucking terrible. Fucking terrible. And Drew Gulak gets tapped out by Charlotte Flair. How will you ever take him credible? He just got beat by a woman.
And there was a point where he could easily have, like, he started to reach across to smack her in the face, and he stopped himself. He's like, oh, wait, I can't do that. He was like, oh, I'm going to just...
Because they're not going to show violence to women on television after just firing someone who got accused of beating his wife.
Exactly, but
I'm sorry. If a bitch comes at you like that and starts whooping your ass, pie face her to the fucking ground, man. I'm sorry. If there's a woman coming at you with a fucking knife saying, I'm going to stab your ass, you best lay her out. Drew Gulak just sat there and took it.
Yep.
Because he's a little bitch. Ricochet says the Intercontinental Championship needs to matter again. I agree. And how did they have him do that? He fought Jinder fucking Mahal. Apparently they heard his pleas on the internet and they decided no.
But...
Oh, by the way, we forgot to actually talk about the fact that Cody Rhodes did defeat The Miz.
Yeah.
And it was a fucking good match.
It was.
And I'm going to go ahead and... Nope, I won't. I will save that. I did something fun, but it won't happen until next month.
Okay.
But I'll surprise everyone with that for it. RK Bros on the show because I'm assuming somebody got COVID protocoled as well outside of Rhea Ripley, or none of the shows matter and everything's just bleeding together. And I know that fucking Roman wants all the titles and all this stuff, right? Which I assume is what... I guess that's what Solo Sikoa is going to be brought up for, right?
He could be the Intercontinental.
He'll be the Intercontinental smashed into the U.S. champion title or something like that. Or maybe so he'll have all the titles.
Maybe he'll have the NXT.
Maybe he'll get the NXT title. I don't know. But Riddle defeated Jimmy Uso in a singles match because, again, Randy will not do 2 shows in one night. Randy also will not do 2 shows in 1 week.
Randy was there.
Randy was there, but Randy didn't work.
No.
All right. Cody Rhodes defeated Seth Rollins in a dark match. Why? Because we got to send the people home happy.
All right. So next week we're going to have some Lumberjacks. You talked about that already.
Don't give a fuck.
Butch has rabies. Butch might have rabies the way he attacks people.
Oh, my God.
What, man? I lost Butch. What do you mean you lost Butch? I lost Butch.
What did Pete Dunne do? What did he do other than be talented and be solid?
All right, we're gonna talk about. Let's talk about Lacey for a second.
All right, yes, I couldn't remember if that was this week's or last week.
No, it was. This was week 2.
Okay. Oh, I didn't see her week 2 promo.
You didn't see
it was
last
fucking
night's?
week. I did not see. Wait.
Friday nights. So Friday nights was where she talked about her father beating her.
Yes.
And the family and the in and out of, and they had to hide in tents.
Yes. Okay, I saw that one.
Okay.
Has she done 2?
She did one the week before, too.
Well, the one the week before was that one.
Well, this was another one that showed a lot of the same
Jesus
stuff.
fucking Christ. She told it, like, twice?
Yes.
The fuck?
So...
Okay. Hold on. Let me... I cut you off, but...
Good. I'll stop.
I need to recap this for a little bit. Lacey Evans, who was a Southern belle, and oh my,
Former Marine.
I don't give a fuck about that right now. I'm talking about her fucking character. Her character was she was a bitchy Southern belle heel who would come out with a parasol, and sometimes she would get in the ring and have a match, and then other times she would be like, no, I am too refined for this. I am going someplace else. Okay. She had, because Stephanie, I assume, because Stephanie remembered that she has, a vagina and women's rights and stuff. She had the woman's right, which she would hit people with, right? And she wasn't great. She was okay, but she wasn't great, all right, for Lacey Evans. And everybody knew her story and was like, well, that's a bit more interesting of a story. Why is she a Southern belle? Why isn't she fucking Lacey Evans, former Marine, badass person, right? Well, now we know why. Because she got to tell her life story. And I am fucking sickened by this, okay? On a multitude of levels. I will explain why after Joseph goes. But that's where we're at. Lacey Evans is no longer a Southern belle. She's just Lacey Evans. My life has been shit.
Well, she talked about how the things that happened in her past made her a better woman, better mother, better Marine. So maybe that's the part they had this week.
I felt like I was watching Hawk talk about his drug addiction and alcoholism.
Okay.
That's what I felt like. Now, this is her story. Okay?
I hope it's... that's why I wrote.
No, it's real. It's fucking real. And if she's okay talking about it, that's one thing. However, I will go back a little bit. She did legitimately leave because she had a baby. Okay? Yeah. Not with Ric Flair, as some people might remember that storyline. We don't know if she was coerced by the Nate or not, if they might have been on a plane when this happened. We don't know, okay? But, woo! Lacey has a baby. Lacey goes away. Lacey trains, Lacey comes back, all right? Again, she drops her character. Her story's real.
Okay.
But they said, hey, we want you to tell your story. You have 2 minutes. We're going to pipe in some music and crowd reactions in post for you when you tell your story. She also is not a great talker, okay?
No.
At least when she was the Southern belle, she could at least just be like, and walk away, right? Now she has to tell her story, and how she tells her story is very much like a drill instructor. She's pointing and doing this as she tells her story, right? Mm-hmm. Whoever produced her, fucking go away, okay? Also, sorry, Tom Cruise, postpartum is real. I don't know if it's a good idea to have Lacey Evans, even though it's her story, re-dredge up all the horrible things that happened in her fucking past on national television after just having a baby. I don't know if that's good for her psychologically. Maybe it is. Maybe she's okay with it. Don't know. Just putting it out there. That's how bad I felt as a viewer watching a woman tell me that her father, who was a great dad at one point, went on a fucking crazy bender of alcohol and drugs and beat their family and treated them all like shit to the point that their mother had to leave and lived in poverty in the middle of nowhere to get the fuck away from them. And she had a horrible shit life. I'm assuming that this is going to keep going further. As I said, I forgot that there was 2 weeks worth of this now at this point. I'm sure they're going to get to the triumph part, which is the WWE saving her after the Marine life or something. But why couldn't she just have a normal... Again, her story. Some people might not have a problem going through all that. I'm not saying going through it, but talking about it. But why couldn't they have built this up and had it of, Lacey's coming back. Lacey's training. Let's have a promo with Lacey. Let's show her working out in the back. Let's have Lacey talk. Let's have Lacey say something about, you're back. Okay, great. And have Lacey be like, well, I'm back and I'm going to make some changes. I'm going to do this, blah, 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 and just kind of go from there. 2 minutes. They gave her 2 minutes to explain her shitty fucking life to us. I felt so bad.
Where are they going with this? So
How is this getting her over?
So, because what I'm thinking is, all I can think in the back of my mind is, Michael, you like to do this to me all the time. Okay. Michael.
Joseph.
Do you remember this? I think he was a Filipino wrestler in NXT who wanted to do nothing but make his father proud. And then he had his debut cut short.
Oh, you mean the Singapore champion? Or
Singapore.
You mean Saray's dead grandmother?
No, I'm talking about the Singapore.
Yeah,
and then he had
whatever that guy's name is, who hasn't been back on television.
And then he was Grayson, Duke Hudson. Duke Hudson just smashed his dreams.
Yes, no, I remember this.
And then he rehabbed and he came back to get his redemption. And then he was smashed again.
Yes, no.
Where are we going with this? Is that where we're going? Who's gonna come out now? Who is the villain of the story that comes out and goes, "Hey Lacey, sorry to hear you had a bad life, but you know what? I don't care. You're a piece of shit, and I'm gonna beat your ass."
Well, I'm assuming. I mean, this doesn't prime her for Ronda.
Bailey?
This doesn't prime her for Bailey. I mean,
Bailey's got her hair grown out long. She needs to come back as a face because she sucked as a heel.
Bailey was great as a heel. Okay, Bailey was fucking awesome.
Shayna Baszler. I don't give a shit about your feelings.
How is anyone going to combat against that in a dialogue? I mean,
right, that's what I'm saying.
Is, in the 70s, you could do it. In the 70s, in the 80s, in the Southern Territories, you could do it. Ric Flair, maybe not. No, Flair could probably come out and say something like, you know what, I don't give a shit that you got beat up as a kid.
Wah.
Yeah, they could have done something like that.
You can't do that these days.
I'm not even talking about just the change of perception of it. Like, how can like I said, they're going to get to the redemption part. They're going to talk about the Marines. They're going to talk about, I know they did, but they're going to talk about the change. They're going to talk about the comeback. They're going to talk about the WWE saving her, I assume, or something at that point of being a pro wrestler. But overall, like, how can you get behind? It's like, remember the big thing that got them in trouble in the 90s, in the Attitude Era, when Marlena got knocked off the ring apron and had a fucking miscarriage?
Yes.
And they had to come out with and say that, like, she was lying about being pregnant the whole time and all this other crap. And they've done this in wrestling before. They did it in TNA with the drug-addicted girl that AJ Styles and Dixie Carter helped get off drugs, but then she blackmailed AJ and said that she sexually was being harassed by AJ. Like, terrible things. My point that I'm getting to is she has an amazing, unique story, okay? She can talk about those things. She can use those things.
Book tours.
Maybe not just throw it off as a one-off, but also not make it about her big debut return for it either. Use small things that make it good. Don't go through the whole fucking saga of it all, because as a fan, I know it sounds weird. It's like, you want to identify with someone, you might not want to identify with the worst thing that happened to them in their life. Okay? If she comes out next week and says that she's a sexual assault victim, I'm just going to stop watching. And no offense to her, you know, again, not putting words in anybody's mouth, but I'm saying if they go that fucking far with it and have her divulge something like that, I don't know. I don't know if I can watch something like that again.
So why is Raquel smiling now? With a new name comes a new... Wasn't Raquel like a badass who just didn't smile and just beat ass? Now she's a smiley, happy to be here.
Happy to be here.
So...
because she's happy to be there to get a job.
So, the E sucked this week. There were some shiny moments.
E fucking sucked.
The best part of WWE was what happened from AEW. Now...
The best part of NXT was Cody Rhodes.
NXT? He wasn't on NXT.
No, sorry. The best part of WWE was Cody Rhodes talking.
So now let's talk about AEW. So I want to throw a thought out to you.
Okay.
Recently, it's been a writer, long-standing writer from WWE, was fired. Couple months ago,
yeah,
weeks ago.
This up there.
And he's since been hired by by AEW.
Yes.
He needs to stop writing for AEW because he's bringing WWE bullshit over to AEW. There are some things that were like, oh, that's what Vince... Oh, stop having him write shit. All right, so we start off with CM Punk and Penta. Why? I don't know,
because CM Punk wanted to wrestle Penta.
Exactly, and that's
exactly why. I guarantee you he went to Tony and was like, well, we're cooled off with Maxwell right now. Be like, well, what do you want to do next, Punk? I think I want to wrestle Penta. Okay. That's why.
Exactly, and that's...
But it was a fucking good match.
And that's the cool thing about AEW. Shit like that just happens. I cannot get over the Spanish Inquisition returns, and he needs to take that damn outfit off.
Yes.
Please. And not every wrestler that is a bad guy needs to have the lights turned off before they show up. But I digress.
Yeah, we're going to talk about lights going off to signify heel evil shit
at the end.
Okay.
But yeah, 13-minute match from the get-go. We were still in the middle of a recap and the second
What?
Yeah, no.
It took 40 minutes for the WWE to have the second match of the show, and it went into 2 minutes, okay? Yeah. That's what he's getting at.
Yeah.
We have a 13-and-a-half-minute match within the first 2 minutes of the show.
Right. That started... That's what I do love about AEW. It starts with the first match. What the frick, phone? Anyway.
You're playing your game, man.
I'm not. No, it's because they're closing up the escape room.
Oh, okay.
But man, this match was...
Yeah. Jungle Boy...
So before we get to the second match...
Okay.
Penta, I didn't think this match was going to be good because just they're so different, and I didn't think honestly I didn't think CM Punk was going to be able to keep up, but I was wrong.
CM Punk,
I was wrong.
Okay,
I was wrong.
For all CM Punk, short order fry cook, as Kevin Nash called him, which I still think is hilarious. Okay, but the motherfucker's cardio has never been an issue.
No, and
I've seen Punk get tired. But I've never seen Punk get blowed up, okay? I don't care what people have said about, oh, well, he just doesn't have it anymore. Well, he's fucking a decade older than the last time we saw him, okay?
Right. No, I got you.
But I've never seen Punk have an issue with cardio. You have to remember, Ring of Honor, these motherfuckers he did a 3-hour match.
Oh.
Like, he legit has never had a cardio problem. So keeping up with Penta, not an issue. Not an issue.
So the next match, and there's not a lot of segments in AEW also. It's mostly matches and some after-match shenanigans. But there's a few segments. But mostly it's matches. Yes. Jungle Boy Luchasaurus versus Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly. Oh my god, this match was amazing.
Fucking great match. Here's the problem, though. This is the E problem. We keep seeing it.
Yes, this is like the third time they've wrestled in the last 3 months.
And that's an issue, in my opinion. Because...
But the matches aren't getting worse.
They're not getting worse, don't get me wrong, and there's still innovation to be had with this. This was a fucking awesome match. Like I said, the problem is that we keep seeing it. We can't keep seeing it, because also that means that the Undisputed Era keeps getting fucked.
Yes.
And that's the theme of the show, is that they just keep getting fucked.
And the weird part with this one was there was no elite interference. They just didn't win.
Well, that's because a homie had his own shit to deal with.
Right.
2 days later.
So, the big story out of this one is we still have AEW still has faith in Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus as their tag champions. And now FTR wants a piece of Red Dragon, which
will be awesome.
Another amazing tag match.
Yeah.
So, not sure who's going to move on to the Jungle Boy Luchasaurus train for their tag titles.
It'll have to be FTR.
Well, they have to go through the... yeah.
I don't know. I mean, well, I'll tell you. I'll tell you who's going to have Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, and where did that take place at? Oh, it's on this show. Okay. moving on.
I think I know. I think you know where you're going with that. All right. Regal is absolutely turning Yuta into a star.
This is what older talent does. They get younger guys over.
That whole segment, Yuta was pretty much the only one talking. It was
fine.
You know, we beat him into. Now he's yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Then we had Tony Storm and AJ.
Tony Storm has lost the weight, but she kept the ass, and
she's all elite.
She's all elite. And small update for anybody who cares. I didn't sign up, but I was also heartbroken when she finally came out after making $30,000 in a day off of her OnlyFans subscription. That it will not be not safe for work content. She will not be posting nudes on there. It will just be sexy, fun pictures and backstage kind of fun stuff for her. So how much money do you think she's going to lose the next month when those subscriptions roll over and everybody who signed up realized that they're not going to get to see her naked?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Then we had MJF going to wrestle Shawn Dean again. I didn't remember him in so much camo last time, but okay, we updated. He's getting a little.
I don't give a fuck about Shawn Dean. I feel
nobody does, but I think Wardlow should get half of Shawn Dean's cut because.
I mean, the thing with this is that I agree with that, but it's okay if Punk goes over here and just works with this guy, works with that guy. He's CM Punk, okay? You paid for the name, all right? MJF. This has been the problem with AEW, in my opinion, and it's the same problem. The E has the same / reverse problem, if that makes sense. The E has the problem of when they run out of stuff to do with the guy, they just don't know what to do, and then they just throw shit together, and like it doesn't always make sense. AEW has the problem of when they run out of shit to do with the guy, they really don't know what to do with him, and they just go, whatever, you're gonna go wrestle fucking one of our 100 other nameless people that we have on the roster because we don't know what to do with you. Like, and that's what I feel this MJF thing is with Shawn Dean.
No, I disagree.
Because the whole point of it was MJF Wardlow. MJF ducks Wardlow for as long as he possibly can before Wardlow gets him and fucks him, right? That's the whole point.
Right.
Why is Shawn Dean involved?
Okay, I'll explain to you why. Let me educate you on how wrestling works.
Okay. Oh, this will be good.
Okay, so MJF is like, you know what? I beat Punk. I'm better than this. So I'm going to give this young upstart Shawn Dean who hasn't won a match in 20 years, even though he's only 20 years old. I'm going to give him the chance at greatness. And basically, because MJF's like, I'm a cocky prick. I'm just going to beat the shit out of this guy and make myself look tough again. Because that's what I do. Because I'm better than you and you know it. But it doesn't work out for him. Because Piggy Wardlow breaks that all up. So now, the second week, well, MJF's pissed because he should not have a loss to a jobber. We don't use that word anymore, but I lost to a jobber.
Yeah.
I need my win back. And then he loses again because it's all about Wardlow putting it to MJF. He is a prop. Shawn Dean is a prop in all of this.
Oh, no, I get that.
He is not getting any clout. Once this is... They may get one more match out of Shawn Dean, which they shouldn't.
Oh, no.
They shouldn't. But we will never see Shawn Dean again.
I don't want to see Wardlow helping the little buddy.
He's not helping the little buddy.
Then what the fuck did you just say?
It's not about helping Shawn Dean. It's about screwing MJF.
So Wardlow's heel.
No! Damn it! No!
Okay. All right. You see where I get that this is... They ran out of shit for MJF to do, and they don't know what to do with MJF, and they can't figure out how to put Wardlow over MJF yet. When the story should just be very simple of MJF... I hope this is what they do. MJF picked on a little guy, okay? That's great. It literally should have been he beat the fuck out of the little guy, and that's it, right? And then Wardlow has his thing. And then MJF needs to go out and get a bigger Wardlow to fight Wardlow. So Wardlow versus bigger Wardlow. With MJF in the back, you build Wardlow who takes out bigger Wardlow, and MJF has nowhere left to turn.
What I think is interesting is this match went 3 minutes and 54 seconds. And
to a count out.
3 of those minutes were just Wardlow beating everybody up on his way
to the ring. Yes.
To the ring.
Like I posted on the page. Wardlow went full Brock Lesnar.
See? Even my son gets it. He's adding to the ongoing rivalry just by interfering with his matches. Yes! Son, I raised you right.
But that doesn't make sense.
It does!
No.
You're just used to the easy way of stupid doing it.
The action of him doing it makes sense, but it doesn't make sense for anything else.
So would it be better if MJF was losing to Adam Cole because of this?
I'm not saying
or Luchasaurus because of this?
I'm not saying the persons are interchangeable. I'm just saying that MJF...
Wardlow wants out of his contract so he can be a free man. Wardlow wants to be a free elf. He needs a sock.
But he can't control...
Master, give Dobie a sock.
MJF can't control... Yes, MJF cannot control Wardlow any longer. Okay?
No, he cannot, obviously, because Wardlow goes through security guards.
That's why I said MJF needs to have bigger Wardlow.
Doesn't make sense. Have you ever watched wrestling before?
I remember when it used to make sense. I remember.
All right. So we'll move on. We're getting but I like the fact that it's being dragged out longer.
No, that's good. That's good. Oh, I know. I do like that they at least have things happening.
Yes.
That are going somewhere.
And it's not like, because if this was WWE, this match would have happened already. Wardlow.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying the match needs to happen right now. I'm just saying that MJF is seemingly directionless right now,
and
because
he did hire a bigger Wardlow. I don't know if you got to see this because you don't watch the show, but he hired. So they had a promo towards the end of the show where he's like, "Wardlow, I'm tired of you. I'm tired of you interfering. I had to make a deal with the devil, basically." And here comes Andrade. He hands Andrade a cash.
I thought it was Lance Archer.
No,
wasn't it the Murder Hawk?
No, he hands Andrade a bunch of money, and out comes Butcher.
Oh, fuck off!
You like Butcher?
I like his band,
which broke up.
Yes.
So this Jericho stable, it really works for me. I don't know why it shouldn't work, but I really like it.
You know what? We talked about this a few weeks ago about not enjoying what Chris Jericho was doing. Surprisingly, I will second this. This actually kind of worked this week, okay? I'm sure he'll fuck it up next week.
And I think it's hilarious. I mean, it is a subtle FU to WWE in a sense, but it's not, because Chris Jericho, he'll tell you, he absolutely admires Vince McMahon. He respects him, calls him on Christmas. Yeah. But the fact that he's like taking this whole we're sports entertainers to the next level is hilarious.
Did you read Jericho's comments on this about why he got to this point?
No.
So Jericho said on his show he didn't want Inner Circle to break up, right?
Okay.
But he wanted to actually just keep going with them, and that maybe lead into his retirement in a few years, right? Inner Circle the whole way, right?
Okay.
What happened is that he got in the ring at a show. I think he said it was in like Pittsburgh or something, right? And he was cutting his promo, and he said, we're pro wrestling, not sports entertainment, right? And the crowd booed hard at the phrase sports entertainment. And Jericho said, well, I kept that in the back of my mind of, oh, that's interesting. Our crowd doesn't like that word. And then at other shows, he's used other WWE terminology, and he's like, oh, they're booing that. They're smarks. And he goes, oh, I can use that. And then once the Inner Circle stuff went off, he was like, okay, I know where to go. And originally he said he wanted to have a babyface tag team with Eddie Kingston. But they kind of did the Blackpool Combat Club thing over here, and Kingston got kind of moved over here and stuff like that. And that's when Chris said, well, what if I actually do this instead.
Right.
And he used all of those things of, you know, our audience does not like these things. So I'm just going to embody these things. And why does it work? Because I'm a fucking WWE superstar.
And that makes, having listened to both of his, two out of three of his books, that checks with everything. Because he always says that he listens to the crowd, he pays attention, and he puts nuggets into the back of his head for later.
That was awesome.
And 2.0...
Again, I still think he's lashing on to the new hotness and slowly trying to milk whatever's left of his career so that way he can continue to drink mimosas and eat, you know, ham. But
2.0 or top flight. 2.0 who was nobody in NXT
because they were only there for fucking 4 weeks.
All right, so
you said you had a lot to say about this. I want you to have the stick here.
Well, I wrote it. Marina Shafir made Dakota Kai look like $1 million. Marina Shafir has been hyped for weeks about how she was going to be this amazing powerhouse. And she sucked ass. It was one of the worst wrestling matches. Like,
no,
people wanted to bitch.
No, it was not nearly as bad as Big Swole.
I stopped. People wanted to give crap to Ronda Rousey's arm throws when she first started. Her judo throws, when they're like, oh, no, that's how it actually looks. This was just horrible. They couldn't touch. Who did she wrestle? Sky Blue. Cora Jade.
Yes.
Who looked exactly like Cora. I'm like, is that not Cora Jade?
They're the same people, I'm convinced.
She could not grab an ankle to find her. This was, oh my God. And then it was on Twitter. I tried to copy it, but I couldn't. But someone's like...
Well, maybe if it was on TikTok, you could have.
Well, TikTok lets you download their videos. Twitter does not. So,
don't worry. Elon's going to buy that.
And then I'll be able to.
And then you'll be able to.
But
see, we listen to the real world, too.
Somebody posted, and it's kind of one of those... Oh, if you just hate AEW or you're just WWE loving, and someone's like, oh, no, this wasn't a horrible match. This is what a real fight looks like. Michael, you've been in real fights. I've been in a couple real fights in my life. You don't lose control of the person you're trying. Oh, this was hot
there's
garbage.
A difference. Hold on. I actually want to say something about that, okay? A real fight and a professional fight, and then a worked fight are all different looking things.
Okay, I agree.
Because a real fight is typically looks one way.
Yes.
Okay? And it usually looks like two monkeys fucking football, okay?
Great.
And usually what happens is, especially if you're at a bar area, you have one guy who knows what he's doing and another guy who's super fucking drunk who thinks he knows what he's doing and tries to be Rocky. I've literally seen people put their arms up and do like this stuff, okay? A professional fight in the confines of rules for what you can do, how you can grab, what you can attack, things you can do like knees to downed opponents, and you can't curb stomp people or soccer kick or kick to the groin. That looks one way.
Okay.
A worked match looks like a worked match, okay? Which is you're trying to make it look legitimate without hurting the other person legitimately. This looked like all of those and none of those at the same time.
Okay, so you agree that Marina Shafir's match was ass and made Dakota Kai look like she was a credible threat.
I have a feeling almost that if this... The only thing I can liken this to is Lash Legend versus Saray, where they said they had an 8-minute match and it was so bad they cut it down to 2 minutes and 10 seconds, and that was the best they could get, and they still put it on TV and it looked like shit.
Yes.
This is what this was. This was a girl who was not ready versus a girl who could not lead her down the path because they took Marina Sharif, who's a legit mixed martial artist, and put her in the ring with a girl who's 85 pounds. So she can't move her where she needs to be because she's 85 pounds. And Marina is trying to work stiff legit but also trying to not hurt this girl.
And
it looked like shit. They should have put her in there with... Give me a name.
Ruby Soho?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe Ruby Soho. And the reason I'll say that is, once again, Ruby's about 90 pounds wet too, okay? But she's an experienced worker. She could have helped
Riho?
her. Riho! Is Riho even on the card, or is she busy taking care of Kenny?
The only believable part...
Because Jade Cargill, big enough, not experienced enough.
Well, that's the next match.
I know, and it's going
the
to
only
be not good.
The only believable part of this match is with Jade Cargill, like, yeah, I don't care.
Now, we've talked about her before.
He's like, because her...
Yeah.
He's like, you need to pay attention to this. She's like,
nope. No. Like, we talked about her before. She's coming along great. But is she just not, like... She fucking gets it. And like, Punk, Daniel Bryan, all these people are praising her as the next best thing. And I'm not saying she's there, okay? Again, we're wrestling fans. We're fickle, right? But overall, like, she looks like a fucking superstar who gets it. And she's believable. And she had to have looked at this match and was just like, I've only been here a year, and I am going to look like $1 million compared to that next week.
Okay. So the next match of the night was Powerhouse Hobbs and Ricky Starks versus Keith Lee and Swerve.
This is a fucking great match, and the wrong guys went over.
Yes. But because Taz got involved, and I know how much you love Taz getting involved with stuff.
Okay. I will retread on old ground and say Taz is a fucking walking human waterbed whose spine is broken and his neck is fused together. Him having any type of physicality with anything, especially Keith fucking Lee, is not going to happen or work. Why is everyone afraid of Taz? Poke him in the head and you will snap his fucking neck. No! No!
So which one of these two teams do you think's the next credit?
Why does Taz still have a job? He can't fucking talk.
What?
He can't talk, he can't work, he can't wrestle, he looks like shit. Is it just because he's Taz?
Which one of these two is the next tag team contender?
Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. They're fucking awesome.
They are. That's a great.
I'm sorry, Powerhouse Hobbs and Ricky Starks. I think you guys are both great. I think you both could get there, but I really think Lee and Swerve need to get the belts off of Luchasaurus and them at some point, not immediately, mind you. Again, as you just accused me of worshipping, but what I'm saying is that if you're going to have a transition at some point between Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, because Jungle Boy's a hell of a talent, but he can't talk, and Luchasaurus is a hell of a talent, but he's fucking weird. Okay?
And when he does talk,
it's fucking weird. Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland makes sense because Keith Lee is good. Keith Lee can talk. Weird, but he can talk. Swerve can talk for him and be good, and they were a fucking great tag team, other than the fact of these are two guys who should be at the top of the company who are now in a tag team in the middle of the company.
Give him some time.
Why? Why does Keith Lee need time? Keith Lee does not need time. Keith Lee
can only have so many champions.
They're making up more belts. We just had, what was it, the fucking TNT champion? And then we had, what was it, the women's internet fucking champion? And
That's
then
an Impact.
No. What's the other women's title that they're having the Owen
TBS.
Hart Memorial Foundation fucking champion tournament?
It's just for it's like a.
My point is, they can make shit up. I'm not saying they need to make up another title, but I'm just saying that the roster is fucking bloated for over 100 people, and you're running 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shows. You're going to have to run more because you just bought Ring of Honor and half of the contracts for the Ring of Honor people. You also haven't... How many people are out of the roster right now with injuries getting repaired? Kenny fucking Omega? Where's Kenny Omega going to be at? Too big of a roster. Get your streaming service up, Tony Khan. Stop worrying about the bots. Samoa Joe.
So hold on.
No.
Are we going to eventually have a Danhausen hook match?
I hope so. I forgot about that. I love fucking Regal.
But
fucking Regal was so good.
Almost made you want to watch Dark.
Oh, it was so good.
But
you know what? As we talked about,
Hook is uncursable.
the reason, well, yes, because it's not real. That's what made it so good, was you could tell Rico was selling his ass off to make this fun. That's what made it great, because consider Danhausen teaming up. That would be great. Danhausen and Hook is the next tag team champions. That would be fucking great. I love Danhausen. I thought it was great. And again, he just says this shit because he thinks it's real.
Right.
It's not.
I know.
It's not real. He thinks he's a demonic vampire, Pee Wee Herman, and everybody else is like, what is wrong with you? And he's like, nothing. I'm nothing. Love it.
So
And Hook is the perfect person for him, because Hook's like, okay, and then leaves.
3 months he still hasn't spoken.
Yes, which is fine. I love it. Build him up.
The best part of Hook is he's no longer part of Team Taz.
Yes. Separate him the fuck away from that again. Like I said, I hate every time that he comes out and Taz is on the microphone, because it just sounds like a dad in the stadium screaming for his kid to be put in because he can play better at quarterback than the other kid is, right? I fucking hate Taz on the mic, all right? I fucking hate Taz in general. Okay?
I know you do.
But this was great. I hope Danhausen will have a match soon. We talked about it in the previous show. The reason he's not working is because in October he broke his leg. So that's why he's just being
I watched
Danhausen and not actually having...
I watched a What Culture with Simon interview with Danhausen, and they said, you asked him, how's your legs doing? He goes, leg is fine. Leg is good. And then they were asking him about the whole cursing thing. He goes, I think it works. I don't know. Doesn't work with Hook.
It was great. Loved it. It was great.
All right, now...
okay, so Samoa Joe defeated
Minoru
Suzuki. I can never say... I'm sorry, guys. I know I butchered. I'm white. I can't say
60-year-old.
But my God. My fucking God. That's like...
So this match was 11 minutes. 5 of it was them just smacking each other.
This was fucking great. And the only thing I'll say for the match is it was great. It was hard hitting. It showed Joe looked like the Joe of old, and he fought a legit badass of badassdom. Okay, let's talk about what happened after. I'm just gonna go watch the match. This match was awesome. All right. The reason I want to talk about what happened after is Joe knew how fucking stupid this was, because he legit didn't give a shit. He had zero facial expressions. He literally... Joey, do me a favor.
Sorry, he's 53. Minoru Suzuki's 53.
Do me a favor.
Yeah.
Put your arm on my shoulder like you're going to guide me around the ring, all right? This is what Joe looked like.
No, you're supposed to come this way. Come this way.
That is what Samoa Joe looked like. He wasn't like trying to get off like, oh my God, I just got my ass beat by this 60-year-old man. I'm trying to... he was just like...
And Suzuki was like,
I want no part of this.
Bye.
He's like, my contribution, my wrestling stopped when the bell hit. After that, I want no part of this.
I did my tap out. I gave the guy...
Yes.
I gave the guy bruises through his chest. He gave me bruises through my chest.
Yes.
I'm done.
I'm done. That was
so the lights go out.
Bad.
So what happens is the match is over. The lights go out, and everyone's like, House of Black. House of Black is attacking Samoa Joe. This could be awesome, right? I mean, I think it could be awesome.
I think it's great. Yeah.
I think Tommy End, Aleister Black, whatever you want to call him,
Malachi
beating up on Samoa Joe. Oh yeah, let's do that. Especially after we just saw with Suzuki.
Now I do want to have. No. I'll keep.
And
keep
then
going.
the lights come on.
Keep the momentum.
The lights come on.
The all elite lights.
The lights come on, and we've got Jay Lethal and Sanjay Dutt.
Okay. Okay. This was for the Ring of Honor World Television Champion that they're contesting for. You
not sure where the lights went out for these two.
Well, remember why? Who else was there?
And then Satnam Singh, who the only good thing
the
about
Elephant Man, the fucking Elephant Man came out.
The only good thing about Excalibur is that he actually gives you good information about who people are that you have no clue who they are.
I'm surprised he did not say that I know who this man is. I wrestled him in Düsseldorf, Germany 10 years ago.
He couldn't say that.
Fuck Excalibur.
Because he
was
a third round
NBA. The first, what is it, Indian?
Indian.
Fucking.
And the whole reason we did this
was because what happened is that AEW, Tony went, well, Vince is getting a lot of money from overseas, and India is a huge market that they just abandoned.
I could use some money.
I could use some of that money. Yeah, we're going to go to India. And we need a recognizable indie face. I don't know if he's Hindi. I assume they're all Hindi for the culture.
Hey,
quick! I don't know much about India.
Quick, go get me the Great Khali. Go get me the Great Khali.
No, go get me Omos. Go get me the Great Khali meets Omos.
This guy was what you would get if you ordered the Great Khali on Wish.
Yes. Yes, like I said.
We can't afford Khali. Give me the next best thing.
Oh my god, it was so bad. It died. It died a death.
And then
so hard.
So what do you think about Tony Khan's statement the next day?
I was going to get to that. So the lights go out and Tony Khan says, well, that wasn't my idea. That was a veteran producer in the back who had that idea. And I thought that this was a bad idea. And the buck stops with me, but I decided to go with it anyway. If you knew it, and he also said, Singham is an important guy for us. We probably could have done that better for his debut. We're going to do better moving forward. Again, you are the guy.
So do you think that...
You are the guy. I am sorry. That goes to show you how fucking weak-minded, willed someone actually is when they make that statement, okay? If I am worth $7 billion fucking dollars, and somebody comes to me and says, I have an idea, and I think that's a bad idea, I am going to tell you, that is a bad idea. We are not going to do that. Why are we not going to do that? Because I'm the owner of the company and I'm worth $7 billion, okay? Sorry, not sorry. That's how I would do it. I'm sorry. The only difference is, and maybe I could see this in the realm of professional wrestling. Let's say I'm Elon, all right?
Okay.
And I go...
Can I have a loan?
Sorry, you don't have internet tweety things, so no.
I have a Twitter. I'll get on my Twitter.
No, you don't have a company that I want to.
Damn.
Yes.
You can buy Powerbomb Weekly.
You can buy Powerbomb Weekly there.
We'll be your puppets and dance for you.
Shut up! What I'm getting at is this, okay? If you fucked it all up, what I'm saying is all right. I'm Elon, and I have Tesla, and I go, I want my car to do this, right? And my engineer comes to me and goes, well, the problem with doing that is the car will explode and die and kill everyone inside and also everyone within a 5-mile radius of the car. And Elon goes, I don't care. I want that done. I might listen to the engineer, okay, and go, you know what? Maybe we'll look about this in a different way. But if the art department comes to me and I go, I want our car to have this scoop thing on it, right? And the art department comes and goes, we just don't think it looks good. That's when I go, I don't give a shit. I want it to have a scoop. Okay? A bit of a difference there. So I could maybe see in Tony Khan's mind of somebody coming and saying, hey, what if we do this? Let's turn the lights off. Let's debut it like this. Let's have an Undertaker. Let's have a Kane. Let's have a House of Black moment. Let's do this. And him go, okay, I could see that. But you don't get to make the statement of, well, it's the buck stops with me. If the buck stops with you, it clearly doesn't. Because it didn't. And you let it happen.
Moving on to Rampage.
Bryan Danielson, Jon Moxley, and Wheeler Yuta defeated the Gun Club. They said they were going to do it, and they did it. Holy shit. Being effective. Being absolutely effective. I said I was going to do something, and I did it.
That's
been the difference. At least with AEW, if somebody says that, something usually happens that fucks them, and that's why they don't do it. Whereas in the E, somebody says, I'm going to do it, and then they just lose via roll-up in 2 minutes. They said they were going to fuck them up. I believe that's their exact phrase, was they were going to fucking break their face. And they did.
I once again love William Regal's complete dismissal of everything that is Excalibur. Hello, Mr. Masked Man.
It is clear he does not like that guy. And if he actually does like that guy, William Regal is the best worker in the business because he is fucking believable in everything he does.
He refuses to say his name.
Yes.
He refuses to acknowledge him.
But he's sold for Danhausen, and that's what makes it great.
Yeah, it was a good tag match. 9 minutes. You have an hour-long show, and you get a 9-minute match.
Could have gone on longer. Billy Gunn is an absolute beast. I love watching. He
still looks great for his age.
He's still good. I know we've talked about this in the past, but the reason Billy didn't get a big singles run, and we've talked about them not getting over, but, the joke was the only two guys in the company who could get each other over was Road Dogg and Billy Gunn, which is why they put them together as a tag team with DX so they could both get over, okay? Billy Gunn has asthma, and he can't do a full match, so he has to have a tag team match, right? And this worked with the kids. I think it's great for them to get over. But I actually really enjoy watching his Insta videos and stuff where he's at the gym talking about his bodybuilding and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I've met Billy Gunn. I could not believe he is so big. He is so big. And even now at his age, he's bigger than when I met him fucking 15 years ago. He's just big, and you would not believe it until you see him in person.
Yep. These matches like this make me believe there will be a trios tag team match title
at some point
very soon. Butcher demolished Barrett Brown. I'm not sure
who is Barrett Brown. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I probably do, but I don't.
And it doesn't matter.
Apparently, also Butcher, is he a singles wrestler now?
No. Blade was probably doing the bunny.
No, the bunny might be bleeding right now of head wound injury. It's the time of the month for her to bleed from her head. I don't know, but
anyway, he was feeding her chocolates.
Oh, that's right.
They remembered Ruby Soho still works there. Apparently,
she got a win. Apparently, look.
That's Robin Renegade. Have you ever seen a more WWE name than Robin Renegade?
Apparently, if you were ever attached to the Riot Squad, you are fucked for life.
Yes.
You are in the forgotten L column. Occasionally you'll win one. People will remember you. People will go yay. And as soon as the people in the back are like, people liked that for a second, back to the L column. So Ruby Soho is being remembered. I expect her to lose the next time she's on TV.
Yeah, the only one that won out on that is the one that left and had a kid.
But she's coming back.
Is she?
Yeah. What's her name? Sonia.
I couldn't remember her name.
Whatever. Yeah. Well, she was back on the one show, but no, she's actually working. Is she working Impact or Ring of Honor? She's actually back working.
Okay. Next week we're gonna get a large and big announcement from TK. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Then we had. So, I wrote, did anyone know how to win the death match? And then I went back and watched, I shouldn't let the guy with the remote FFA through all the ring announcements. Because it was clearly stated that the only way you can win this match is by count out or submission. I did not know that. And I was like, why are they counting if this is a death match? I thought a death match meant all no holds barred. You can do whatever you want. Pinfall submission. I was wrong. Now I understood it was basically knockout.
Yes. So, do you want to talk about what happened in this match, or do you want to talk about the ending of this match?
Well, let's talk about... I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to ask your opinion about something, and I want you to know what you think.
Okay.
Does it feel like to you that Adam Page versus Adam Cole, the contender and champion of the company, is the least interesting thing in the entire company?
I'm glad that you mentioned that because I absolutely love both of these guys. I think Adam Page is great. I think Adam Cole is great. Nobody
cares about this.
I'm not saying I don't care because I know I'm going to get a 4-star guaranteed 4-star match out of these two guys every time they wrestle each other, right? That is how good I believe they are. This is, in my opinion, like Okada and fucking Naito. Like, this is those two guys' thing. And we always, that's where I'm at right now. The problem that I've had with it is that Adam Cole has lost some shine that he should have ridden the wave of his debut to this, not been sidetracked by the stupidity that he was, okay? Also with that, Adam Page has just not gotten a chance to really get over because every program that they put him in with, the other guy looks better than he does. Or they let them out-talk him.
Yeah.
Or they outsmart him in some way that leads to him having to have one of these fucking Jon Moxley-ish bloodbath-style matches to get back over with. And that's taking away from him so much that he's become an uninteresting champion. Again, I think he's probably one of the best world champions out there next to the one. But this is hurting him.
Yes.
It's very much hurting him. And I
like the fact that they keep trying it.
I'm okay with that. Like I said, you're going to get a 4-star match every time these two guys get in the ring. Even if it's not with each other, you're going to get a great fucking match. But I'm really wondering if Adam Page needs a mouthpiece.
He does.
Because he cannot keep getting shut down constantly by all these guys and just be like, I know he's supposed to... I don't mind straight, no-nonsense guys, right?
Okay.
But he is getting out-talked when he talks. If he's going to be just cowboy shit, he needs to just walk out and smack people in the fucking mouth and move on. Problem is, he's not Brock Lesnar size. He's my size, So that's an issue. That's kind of what I'm getting at is fucking great guys. Fucking great match. Easily the stars of your company. But one guy is a star, and the other guy is not being made to look like a star.
That is the best way you could put it.
Yes.
100% agree. Oh, by the way, it was interesting that on Dynamite, according to Mr. Meltzer, every single match except for the MJF and the Maria Sharif was a 4-star match or better.
Dynamite was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Match-wise, it was fucking awesome. Like I said, that whole card was great until the ending segment with Giant Gonzalez coming out.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what? That's an insult to Giant Gonzalez.
Yeah.
That's an insult to Jorge. Sorry. Can we talk about the one thing, though, okay?
Yes.
And I want to talk about this. Obviously, we're in Easter Sunday. Happy Easter Sunday, everybody, for those of you out there with it. But I need to get your opinion on this.
Where are we going with this?
How did you feel about the Crown of Thorns spot?
I don't remember the Crown of Thorns.
So the ending of the match sees Adam Page grab a Crown of Thorns barbed wire and place it on top of Adam Cole's head, and he jumps off the ring apron and drives him through the table on top of his head.
Huh. Yeah, probably not the best idea.
Now, I don't give a fuck about the spot, not because again, that's not my bag, okay? Not gonna knock people whose is.
Right. Probably not the best idea. I guess I missed that.
But what I'm saying is they got in trouble for having a fucking moron do a pizza cutter spot right before they aired one of their endorsements pizza commercials.
Right.
Is it a good idea to put a crown of thorns on someone's head right before Easter?
Oh, wait. On Good Friday.
Yes, on Good Friday. On Good Friday, and I believe they're billing this as they crucified Adam Cole. I think that was one of the tags I saw in one of their recaps.
I don't know how I missed that.
And I don't know, is Tony, and I'm not knocking this, again, not knocking it, is Tony Muslim? I assume?
Probably, but still,
But the recognition of what you did, I could see that coming. What I'm saying, comma people, is the blowback of having the owner of the company who might be of a different religion, doing something religious iconic
on the day that is
on the show of the day at a celebration might not have gone over well with some of your audience because wrestling at the end of the day is a Southern sport. Man. There's a lot of church folk in them hills, okay?
I wonder if Chris Jericho will address it, because Chris Jericho is the only...
Eric Bischoff was pissed.
I know Chris, because having read the books and reading Shawn Michaels' book currently, Chris Jericho's a very...
They're all Christian buddies.
Very
and stuff,
Christian.
Yes. Chris Jericho...
I wonder if he'll say something about it on his...
I don't know. That's why I wanted to get your perspective. Yeah, no, you don't remember the spot as well, apparently, yes. But I saw the spot, I was like...
I may have looked
At first, I didn't
I saw him go through the table, but I may have looked away for a quick
Well, it kind of started to fall off his head when they put it through, and Cole had to, like, hold it on his head when they went through.
I may have just missed the placement.
Like, I didn't catch it at first, but then when I saw the crucifixion of Adam Cole, I was like, ooh, I was like, that's not going to sit well with some people.
Okay. So the next night, last night there was another hour special called Battle of the Belts. Dalton Castle came out and wrestled. Man, I forgot how good. So first we had Sammy Guevara versus Scorpio Sky for the TNT belt. It was
great.
It was a great match.
We did not talk about the fact that Sammy and Ty Conte are getting booed.
They got booed so hard in Texas.
Yes.
Where he's from.
Yes. Is that the sign of problems?
I think it might be the whole blowback from the Pam stuff, or I don't know. I did like the fact that Tony Schiavone said, I don't want to, maybe I'm unpopular, but I hate the fact that he's wearing that belt. The fat guy. Mm-hmm. But then they did some heelish stuff at the end, so maybe Guevara is going heel again. Maybe the Smarks knew better.
I don't know. I don't know what the plan is with that.
But Sammy Guevara got the belt back because Ty Conte.
This is the thing too.
Because
Sammy Guevara looks and works like what I wish Dominic Mysterio did.
Yes.
Like that's what I feel like. Dominic Mysterio, I assume looks like me when he takes that jacket off and gets in the back, which is just not pleasant. You know? Just buggy fucking tiny arms and just not fit. And Sammy Guevara just looks and works like what I wished Dominic could do.
So the next match was Jonathan Gresham versus Dalton Castle.
Wondering what happened to Jonathan Gresham, and now I know.
It was for the Ring of Honor World Championship heavyweight title. It looked amazing. Dalton Castle's back from his broken arm.
Yes.
He looked amazing. He had 5 ring boys, or 6 to come out.
Loved it.
He is an amazing talent.
I only saw the clip, but I remember this because they were like, what's going to happen with Jonathan Gresham? And then I saw like some snippets of this match, and I was like, ooh, that's right. Be like, I'm sorry that, again, like we just talked about Adam Page, he's kind of uninteresting.
Right. The best
part
of it,
fucking good.
When he comes out with the octopus mask, he looks amazing, and then
it's like all of that goes away once he gets in the ring. And you're like, oh, it's just a bald-headed bearded dude.
But he is banging Jordan Grace, so lucky him.
My man.
So then they fixed the Singh issue because he came out and wrecked house. Jonathan Gresham is about this tall. Singh is about this tall. Jonathan Gresham Jonathan Gresham came up to Singh's belly.
Okay.
Jonathan Gresham's already a small guy anyway. So he destroyed Jonathan Gresham, threw him around. Oh, this is how you introduce a monster babyface. So now he looks he's more...
a monster heel.
So now he looks more like Kali than Kali on Wish. And then Joe comes out to make the save. So...
You think Joe's happy?
Yes.
You think Joe is... No. I mean, he just had a match with Suzuki, but do you think Joe's happy where he's like, great, another untalented, untrained, big guy that I'm going to have to fucking get over, and I'm almost 50?
I think yes, because he is wrestling.
But again, he's wrestling, just had a match with Suzuki, but he still has to do all this extra shit of, I'm going to have to get this 7-foot fucking Neanderthal over. I just left a company where I had to do that.
I think he's happier than frickin' Thunder Rosa was having to try to fight Nyla Rose.
I didn't see this. Again?
Nyla Rose is the Nia Jax of AEW, enough said.
I like what Nyla represents, and I don't think she's that bad. But
this match was horrible.
I mean, again, they can't book a champion, can they? Is there any champion on AEW right now that is interesting? And they fucking killed Thunder Rosa, in my opinion, so far.
They need a better one.
Sadly, it proved that Thunder Rosa was better chasing Britt Baker than she was having the title, and I love Thunder Rosa. Who did they? Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, great matches, like we talked about earlier. Paige, Jade Cargill.
The tag team
Jade Cargill's the only one. Jade Cargill,
and she's not the best, and she's the worst wrestler of the group.
She's the only one who's interesting, though.
Yeah, with her baddie bitch section.
Yeah. She's the only interesting one is Jade Cargill, someone who's been in the business for 12 months.
All right, so we have a new segment.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's talk about rumors.
Now all that's in my head is that fucking song. Thanks.
And I didn't play that song because, again, I didn't want to get copyrighted.
2 slides.
Hold on. Going to mute.
Somebody Samoan drop me! Just once! Acknowledge me!
By the way, that's my cousin Joe, who would later go by Roman Reigns, future WWE champion.
I have a cousin Joe too, but he's unemployed.
Come on, Dewey, let's wrestle!
No. The world's not ready. A match that big can only happen at Wrestlemania. Mm-hmm.
So that was from this week's Young Rock.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard about this. He ain't wrong. Why have it if you're not going to have it at WrestleMania? The problem is that, okay, and we talked about this, and we talked about this a little bit on Kevin's show, and the thing is that Dwayne has to not have a movie role lined up.
Right.
He can't, they will not, the insurance will not cover him after the Hercules incident. For recapping for everybody, Dwayne wrestled John. He literally tore the fucking muscle off of his hip bone 10 minutes into the match and had to go another 30 minutes. And then he had to have a fucking emergency next day surgery to reattach that shit. And it shut production down for 6 months on time. And the insurance companies had to kick in and pay out for all the people who didn't have a job on a multi-million-dollar movie. Rock can't work until he doesn't have filming obligations because the insurance people will not bond him to do it
Well,
anymore.
then he can not.
Which is why John Cena won't wrestle until he's done filming Peacemaker shit because they're not going to cover him either.
Or is he? Anyway, I don't actually have that rumor on here because I just saw that rumor today.
Yeah.
But The Rock can figure out when he's not filming movies. Do you think that this is a chance? Do you think there's a chance? Because if not, why else would they do it?
I honestly think that this will be Hogan and Austin. I think this will be George St. Pierre and Anderson Silva. I think this will be Tyson and Ali. This will just be a dream match that everybody wants, that we got close to getting multiple times, that we got hinted at multiple times, but we never actually got. Okay. At this point, I just don't think it'll happen. And I could be proven wrong, and I want it to happen, and I want to see it, and it's not out of the realm of possibilities, but truthfully, I just don't think it'll happen because of schedules.
All right, I love this one. On Monday, according to Sean Ross Sapp, Cody Rhodes was not scripted on Raw. Everything he said was raw and uncut. And then 2 days later, no, everything was 100% scripted, even every practical word.
I don't think it was 100% scripted. I'll say it was a 70-30.
Yeah.
What it is I guarantee you Cody came. What I think was they probably gave Cody a thing. And Cody looked at it and said, well, can I say these things? And they went, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's how it happened.
Which honestly, probably for the E is how it should be.
Yeah.
When they had Nathan Jones trying to read the fucking St. Crispin's Day speech was the most embarrassing thing I've ever had to see to a guy. And that motherfucker's a real actor, too. And they tried to have him do a fucking Shakespeare thing. No, okay? That should be wrestling. You go, especially if you're going to have writers, all right, for the E, which they think that they need, which they don't. They just need bookers, okay? Mm-hmm. But if you're going to have somebody do that, all right, don't hand a fucking professional wrestler a 5-page script of shit that they have to say. Hand them a format. This is your time. These are your bulletin points. Get there. And that's what makes a guy good. That's what OVW did. That's what other training developments do. You have 2 minutes to get your point across. Your point is, you and this guy are going to have a fight tonight, but this other guy is fucking with you. Make sure to get that in. By the way, don't forget we're in Dallas in 3 weeks for the pay-per-view where you're going to fight the guy who's fucking with you. Go out there and make it happen, okay? Yep. Address it. It's not hard. It's really not.
According to Dave Meltzer, the reason The Miz turned on Logan Paul was because Paul worked it into the deal that he would become a babyface. What in the horse happy shit is this? Nobody likes Logan Paul. He is never going to be a face. They've tried it 3 times.
I don't know if this was part of the deal as much as it was what they were trying to get to at that point, but I said it on the radio. I didn't think it was that fucking bad. I thought Logan Paul looked great. If they can afford to pay Logan Paul enough to keep him around and make him look interesting.
If Rock v. Romans happens, does Rock win? If not, who can be the one to do? So,
earlier I said Cody.
He said Walter.
Well, no. I said Walter, and then they turned him to Gunther, and then they fucked him, okay? And then they gave fucking Marcel there the name Kaiser Sose, and that basically destroyed fucking Imperium. And they went from they went from their black military stormtrooper jackets to bright fucking red ones. The only thing that's good is Walter changed his diet and he's lost a ton of weight. It looks even better now that he did.
Because fat people get fired.
The thing is that I don't think Rock beats Roman. And if Rock does beat Roman, he beats him at they want to do it at WrestleMania, but they'd have to do it at Survivor Series to set up WrestleMania like they did with Punk and them, where Rock would have to take the titles off of him, be at the company for a while, and then lose it at WrestleMania back to Roman.
The family,
or you just do the match at WrestleMania, and if that's the way that 1000% plays down, Roman will beat Dwayne.
Rock will go out, and that'll be his retirement.
And that will be his last match, you know? As they just said, he's been there for fucking almost 30 years, which is insane.
According to WrestleNet, there are no plans for Roman Reigns to lose the title anytime soon and decide to keep it through 39. He will be promoted as the greatest of all time. I 100% believe this.
I'm fine. I said it.
He will lose.
Check the archives. I said it. If Vince called me and said, you're in charge, the first question I would ask him is, how long is Reigns under contract for? And if he says for the next 3 years, I said, that's your champion for the next 3 years. Moving on.
So as you mentioned earlier, Rhea Ripley and Tommaso Ciampa have been pitched to possible members of Edge's new stable. We don't know if it's been approved.
As I said.
It doesn't look like it with what happened this week, because Rhea Ripley was...
As I said, I was like, well, maybe Edge can fix some of this. And then they did the blue fucking light with Damian Priest, and I was like, thank God. Tommaso Ciampa going in as the Blackheart, if he gets to be the Blackheart, fine.
But he was making jokes.
But he was cracking fucking jokes. You know, I'm here to just be here, guys. Ha ha ha. You guys destroyed my fucking homeland of NXT Black and Gold. I'm now a refugee on Raw. I guess this is where I'm at. Happy to be here.
The one rumor that's not in here that I just saw this morning is that John Cena said he's on deck anytime they want to call him. I guess he's not filming right now. And in June will mark his 20th year with the company.
Yeah.
So expect John Cena in June.
Okay. I'm sure Peacemaker Season 2 will be coming around, sometime in August through October, too, so that'll help.
So, what did you think of the format?
This is good. I hope all of this looked good for everybody at home.
I had a thought. I had a final thought. I should have written down my final thought. because I don't remember what my final thought
Just
was.
writing final thought down doesn't do it for you?
No, and I came up with it earlier, and I was like, oh, this is a great final thought to have. And it's gone, much like my hopes and dreams. This week of wrestling, it was good to watch other shows other than just WrestleMania. I have no final thoughts. This was usually your thing.
I was trying to see, I always feel bad when I go off on tangents and run over tops and things like that, and then I give you your chance to step up to the plate, and you just swing and a miss.
I'm looking at this stuff going, is there something that's going to show us?
And I'm trying to keep it rolling here to drag it out for you a little bit. Maybe I'll say something that'll just trigger in the back of your mind and be like, all right, that's right. That's what I was going to talk about. You know what? Here's my final thought. I put a poll up on the page. I just got a couple responses I wanted to talk about. Can you be a babyface and a heel in today's modern age? The reason I want to talk about this is right now we're having a lot of people have character change and different designs and different directions and things like that. Even with AEW, we are seeing some changes in things, okay? Can you be a legit, fucking shaking hands, kissing babies, babyface, and can you be a swarmy, I'm going to insult you because your father abused you and your family for years as he was an alcoholic drug addict, and I'm going to call you out on that shit? Can you do that anymore? I don't know if you can with the death of the kayfabe and the way that the world, as everyone likes to talk about, has changed. I don't think you can insult people the way that you used to be able to. You can't insult people's race, Roddy Piper. You can't insult people's sexuality. You are getting to the point that you can't insult someone's condition, Jada. It's getting very difficult to be heel, but at the same time, no one really wants to get behind a babyface nowadays.
But you can murder people.
Yes, you can murder people. You can't come out and say, hey, it's great to be here. I'm super happy. I'm loving everything about life and everything. And you can't have Dewey. We just talked about Rock. You can't have Dewey come out and, high-fiving everyone with the tassels and stuff anymore. You can't have the cartoonness. So where are we at? And what is the E trying to present to us? Because everyone is a character. Tony D'Angelo was a mafia member who, I guess, murders people because they sleep with the fishes. So we have to have legitimacy, I think, in a way, come back of just badass versus badass in a traditional, almost boxing, UFC style creation of that, because people don't want to cheer baby faces for doing babyface shit, like standing up to the heels, but the heels also can't insult the baby faces. Now, being a heel is very easy, in my opinion. I think it's the easier position to take, which is why everyone wants to work heel. You get to draw the money with the babyface. The babyface has to take the brunt of everything and be believable. The heel just gets to work heel. And you can also be very simple in your cutting of promos by doing things like, I don't know, Elias Ezekiel insulting the Sonics, which was a shitty fucking team anyway that was gone for a decade. And that motherfucker got booed for 30 minutes. They had to cut to a commercial, and they came back, and people were still booing him. We were in the arena. It made network news on ESPN. It was huge, and now he's Ezekiel.
Do you think he'll be any good in the match? You think he'll be a good wrestler?
I don't know. My point is that it's very easy to be heelish and do base things. You can insult people. Hey, I'm in this town. Insult sports team, insult mayor, insult intelligence of crowd, insult fatness of women. Simple things, simple things. Being a babyface, I think, is a lot harder, which is why nobody wants to do it. Because everyone is a babyface now just has ass kicker mentality. They tried it with Drew. Drew was the last, I believe, believable thing, and then he started talking about slaying fucking Loch Ness monsters and mythical dragons with his mother's soul and turned into his fucking sword that he tries to murder Madcap Moss with, who is now a babyface because he was almost murdered by Drew at WrestleMania. You know, and when we talk about blandness, I think unfortunately we're seeing the reflection of that of Cowboy Justice there. He's fucking great, but he's bland because all he does is come out and just kick people's asses. Like, there's got to be a change in how the presentation of heels to baby faces work, or you just have to go with, we're getting rid of characters. We're getting rid of a stereotype because you can't attack a stereotype anymore because it's a stereotype and people don't like it being attacked. We talked about it earlier. Again, rehash. Lacey Evans, see that. How in the fuck is Charlotte Flair going to cut a promo on her?
Yeah.
How is Ronda Rousey going to cut... Ronda, who could apparently not talk anymore. How can Ronda cut a promo on... Well, I guess that sucked for you.
Right.
I'm going to break your arm now.
But it has nothing to do with how your daddy treated you.
It has nothing to do with the horrible things that happened to you and the triumph and overcomeness that you have of becoming a positive female role model for your children.
Nothing personal. I just got to break a bitch.
I'm just going to break your arm, I guess, and call you bitch a lot. Wait, can't do that. That's my final thought, is figure out a way to make heels and baby faces good, or just stop having heels and baby faces.
Thanks for joining us on the journey. Thanks for everybody who watched. Thanks to my son for all the interactions. Appreciate it.
It's just water. It's not vodka.
What the fuck? All right, so I'm Joey. He's Mike. We're Powerbomb Weekly. Thank you for joining us. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let us know if you enjoyed the new setup. Have a great night.